yet, so I'm going to ask that you type in rerun in the comments. And if you want to put your city or state in there, absolutely do that too. I always like to know where my viewers are watching from. So type rerun in the comments. Otherwise, give me a moment to get the other platforms up. So there we go. I have to get it fixed right because I got a. You see that yellow page over there? There's a bunch of jets. That's my some of my model jets that are on the wall there. So you can kind of see the nose of them. That's the nose of an F-22. So, but anyway, give me a minute to get my other platform up, and we should be able to get this party started momentarily if I can get this damn device to act right. What I may end up doing is just starting a live without this and figuring it out on the fly because I may have to reset one of my devices. Looks like it's just not cooperating. Okay, here. Yeah, but good evening to you folks that are in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reset it. That's what's happening. It's all jacked up. And I gotta figure that out. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and reset that. So while that's resetting, we'll go ahead and kick off all the other lives. And what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Depending on who you ask, of course. Good evening. Hopefully, you all have had a wonderful day. I'm just out of the salt mines, as we used to say on the CB radio back in the day. Just out of the salt mines, working for the man. So my day job is ended, and I felt like I'd come in here and shoot a rag with you folks. Now, President Trump, we covered this yesterday. President Trump had made a series of threats towards the nation of Iran. Obviously, Iran still at this point, they're not bowing to the will of President Trump. They're still not bowing. They're not surrendering. They're giving Trump the big middle finger. So President Trump had promised that we were going to commence bombing them. We were going to start attacking them again because they're just not coming around to what Trump is saying they should do. And there's no sign that they came around at all, but yet President Trump has once again suspended or paused, whatever word you want to use, he's paused the attack on Iran. So he threatened to attack them. If they didn't come around, they didn't come around. And now he's saying that he's going to pause that. What I want to ask you folks is, do you take him seriously at this point? I'm just going to say, in all honesty, how many times does Trump have to threaten to completely obliterate, destroy a whole civilization will die? How many times did he have to do that and not carry it out before the threat stops having any weight behind it? Because we just covered him yesterday saying that there was not going to be many of them left if they didn't get their act together. And here we are today saying that he has decided to pause the attack. So I guess I'm kind of wondering, does his threats have any weight, particularly with the Iranian people? Do you think they actually fear him? Remember, that was the whole notion that under Trump, we would be more respected, and our adversaries would fear us and things of that nature. So I guess I start off the live by asking you folks that question. Do you think Iran fears our current commander in chief? Do you think they're scared of President Trump? You can type yes or no in the comments on that, because he's made a bunch of. Now, he did kick some ass. Let's not take that from Trump. The opening attack on Iran, he did kick some ass. He killed the Ayatollah, his family, a bunch of innocent schoolgirls on their way to school. He killed a lot of people. But he's made a lot of threats that he's not carried out on. So I'm asking, do you believe the people of Iran are fearful of Trump? And I guess I would also add on there is that if you're going to suggest that if they get a nuclear weapon, they're going to use it on us, Obviously, that would result in their complete and total annihilation. We've all, I won't say we've all, but many of you folks that are Gen X like myself, you grew up with MAD. Certainly, if you are a baby boomer, you've heard of MAD. If you're a baby boomer, you certainly heard of MAD. But if you're a Gen X, you've also heard MAD, mutually assured destruction. This was the whole Cold War statement, meaning that if we launch bombs at Russia and they launch them at us, everybody's going to be destroyed. So we have a mutual understanding that it makes no sense to launch a nuclear attack because at the end of the day, everybody's going to be destroyed. Mutually assured destruction. We're under the notion, if you listen to our government or the government of Israel, by the way, Netanyahu, we're under the belief that Iran does not believe in mutually assured destruction. That they're willing to create a bomb and use it, even if it means they'll be completely destroyed. In other words, suggesting that Iran is somewhat suicidal. That's what the Trump administration is saying. If they had got a bomb, they would have used it by now. On a country that has thousands of nukes, and we also have allies that have nukes. So this would be the total and complete annihilation of Iran. Not the annihilation that Trump talked about, but we're talking real, genuine obliteration. So only way Iran's going to launch a nuke is if they're suicidal. So I'm asking this question because if we truly believe that the nation of Iran is suicidal, then why does Trump seem to think he can threaten to kill them into compliance? You're threatening to blow up a nation to get them to comply with you while also suggesting that they're suicidal. I mentioned this a few weeks back on the live that it's kind of like calling the police because you have a roof jumper. This guy is on the edge of a roof threatening to take his own life. And you call the police and they show up and tell the guy, you better get your ass down before we shoot you. Does that make sense? Does threatening somebody who is suicidal with violence, does that make any sense at all? Because it leads one to believe that perhaps if they are what the Trump administration is claiming, then, well, if the Trump administration believes they're going to launch a bomb at a country that already has thousands of bombs, but yet you believe you can threaten them with violence to get them to comply, then they probably are not into self-harm like Trump is suggesting, like Netanyahu is suggesting. Point is, we're getting some faulty information on Iran. Something does not make sense. So we're going to talk about that. But in addition to talking about Iran, I want to ask you exactly what's on the monitor. At this point, almost 2 years into Trump's term, a year and a half, let's take that back, about a year and a half. He was inaugurated in January of 2025. So about a year and a half into his term. He campaigned on America First. I want to ask you folks, as you come up, as we take callers, what does America First mean to you? Trump campaigned on it. MAGA really favored it. Plenty of independents loved the idea of finally focusing on America and not all this overseas shit. So I do want to ask you folks, what does America First mean to you? Do you believe the Trump administration is living up to that? Some folks do believe threatening Cuba and Greenland and Venezuela and Iran and all this stuff is somehow, some way taking care of America first. I'm on the outside of this. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I want to have you folks up here. Maybe some of you folks can explain to me what does America First mean and whether or not President Trump is living up to that campaign promise. So talk about that. In addition, I do want to talk about Cuba once more. I do want to find out, particularly if I can get some of my beloved MAGA up here. I want to know, do you think this is a good idea? Make no mistake about it, MAGA was overwhelmingly in favor of our incursion into Iran. I want to hear what your opinion is on Cuba, though. There is no threat of obtaining a nuclear weapon with Cuba. In fact, I want to find out if there's a threat with Cuba at all. Why are we threatening to take Cuba? Want to hear from you folks, particularly MAGA. So we're going to have a short show. Nevertheless, your opinions always matter. As you can see from last evening's show, for some of you folks that tuned in, our shows can go in a number of directions because we were talking about world politics and ended up getting into a huge debate, particularly with my liberals, my African American liberals. They were trying to school me on the notion that somehow, some way, black people cannot be racist. I thought that was ridiculous, but it ended up taking up a chunk of the show. So sometimes our topics can really lead in all sorts of directions, and that's fine. That's fine. We're open to you. We're open to being schooled. We're open to educating. We're open to entertainment. That's how a show runs. Nobody is a know-it-all here, including yours truly. So you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. We're always MAGA friendly. Always have been, always will be. Liberals are welcome as well. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. And of course, you can be critical of anybody on this show, including yours truly. So looking in the comments and right off the bat, tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000, if you will, on TikTok. We're currently today broadcasting live on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and Facebook. Our Tim Liberals account, which also you can end up requesting to go live on Facebook as well. We switched over Instagram just for today with the Tim Liberals account on Facebook. So we're live on Facebook at this point as well. And of course, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to give us a sub. Timmy and individual black so-called racists don't affect the mass group of white people via economic power, housing, jobs, etc. Learn the difference, Tim. Almost sound like some gangster grandma was saying, calling me Timmy Tim. Well, I'll tackle this comment before we get into the Iran thing. You're saying black so-called racists don't affect the mass group of white people via. I don't think it matters. You think every white person that's racist has an effect on the mass group of white people via economic power, housing, jobs, etc.? No. You can. I don't. If that's the case, based on what you're saying, then no poor white person who has little to no influence on our society could be racist. Yet we call them racist all the time. I don't think. Look, I know there's a lot of African Americans that believe you got to have some kind of systemic power. Here's what I would say on that. Racism doesn't have to be systemic. It doesn't have to be systemic. Based on this notion that, well, we can't be racist if we don't have control of the system, you're basically saying that all racism is systemic. No, it's not. All racism doesn't have to be systemic. How many folks have called Koreans in Los Angeles racist because they follow them around the store and shit? Koreans don't have systemic power in America, yet we have no problem calling them racist. You see it in the movies and every damn thing. So the idea that you got to have systemic power, in my opinion, is some type of warped definition to remove accountability from blacks when they're acting racist. I just don't understand that. I mean, but you don't have to have systemic power. All racism does not have to be systemic. I get the police and I get the banking industry and all of that shit. That's systemic racism. I get that. But individuals can do shit. The individuals can do things as well. You don't have to have systemic power to do that. Anyway, looking in the comments, you're on a cruise in the Bahamas. Are you on I am? Frank, no, I'm not. I wish I was. If Candace tried to do a rap song, she would still be a quest by Lord Lamar. I don't know what that's meaning. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000. We'll take the first caller. It's 2026 and black folks talking about Odin. Huh? What do you mean Odin? Don't know what that means. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. We'll go to the box shortly after that and take our first caller. In fact, we'll go ahead and make it happen right now with Gerald MC. Good evening, Gerald. Make sure I get my damn volume turned up because I always had this thing screwed up. Gerald, is it going to bring him up? It looks like the box is playing games. We'll give Gerald a moment to come up and see what happens here. And tap the screen, folks. Get the likes up to 10,000. It does not look like it's going to bring Gerald up. Trump never was with you, brother. And I've never believed he was and never claimed he was. BS or whatever the name there 569 says. Never believed that. We'll give it a moment. It looks like Gerald MC is not coming up. The system is kind of just like pausing. What I'll do is I'll try to drop him and move on to another guest. And we'll make it happen with Stick the Ruler. Good evening, Stick. Welcome to the program, Stick.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. Not much at all. Was talking a little bit about what we discussed yesterday, but obviously the topic today is about being America first. What does that phrase even mean to you?
Oh shit! It means the same thing MAGA means. Not to make America great again, but the South shall rise again.
That's what?
Yeah, that shit don't mean a goddamn thing. We over in Iran. We went over in. We're trying to go to Cuba. Before that, we were in Venezuela. Then he was trying to take Greenland. Like, I'm trying to figure out where is America first in this. Like, you causing the taxpayer money to keep paying money, and then before we move on to, I gotta go ahead and get this out the way.
Sure.
Yesterday when I got off, you did exactly what you told MAGA they be doing. When I said something about a certain particular topic, you went all the way to Africa and found the worst goddamn thing to find to compare to the shit that they doing over here. And
well,
we can go ahead.
Well, the only reason why I went all the way to Africa and went all over the world is because we were trying to suggest that blacks can't be racist and things like that. And I asked somebody, I was like, would you feel better? Do you think that African Americans would be safer if we lived in an all black environment? And the caller said no. And then that's when I started going into Africa.
Yeah, but there's certain parts of Africa, or there's a lot of countries in Africa that are not having civil war. They're not going through anything. They're not having apartheid. Like, it's a lot of places in Africa that aren't going through anything. Yeah. So to just go circle in on the worst thing ever, like MAGA does, like when we're talking about Trump, they go straight to the worst of Biden. Yeah. That's what you did yesterday.
Well, the thing about it is, just like you said, there's a lot of parts of Africa. There's parts of the United States where you're not dealing with extreme racism either. I mean, I don't hear brothers in Hawaii talking about how much racism they're dealing with. I mean, there are places in America you could go where it's not that bad. So go ahead.
Well, you know why that is, right? You know why that is, right?
Why is it?
Because in Hawaii, there's mostly Hawaiians and Samoans. Like, that's the people.
Right.
In Africa, that's the people. They're Africans. They're Nigerians. They're not going to have that similar situation because they're, number one, everybody is this, like in Europe. I mean, unless you have a situation where you got a small group of people from other places, I'll say it don't just have to be Africans, but anybody, unless it's a small group of people being accosted or marginalized, pretty much it's Italian on Italian. It's French on French. You know what I mean? It's not a problem because it's the same people.
Well, I'll tell you, I do believe, as somebody who's been all the lower 48 states, I do believe, and lived in a lot of different places. I do believe there are places you can go in America as an African American where you're not dealing with a whole lot of systemic racism. I mean, if you just want to get a job, you want a house and a white picket fence in the American dream, there are plenty of places in America you can go where there's nobody hindering that. Maybe if you want to be president, you start running into all kinds of bullshit, or you want to, you want to be mayor of a city. But for the most part, the basic American dream, as an African American, there's not a lot stopping you in most places in this country from achieving that.
You know what you just said? Sure. If you stay out the way, you won't have them damn problems. If you decide to just stay to yourself, you don't go out there, you won't have them damn problems.
But that's anybody though.
That's sad commentary.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's sad, Stick. But I agree with you. But was anybody saying that Hillary Clinton was drinking baby's blood before she tried to be president, or Mitt Romney had binders of women? Once you start getting high up and getting away, yeah, shit comes at you. Think about Joe Biden's esteemed career. The guy's been in Washington his whole fucking life. The minute he ran for president, they were telling him he was sniffing children and everything. That does happen. Once you get in the way, shit starts happening with you.
Now think about what you're saying. Who are the people saying that he was sniffing kids?
The opposition. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my point. Now then you'll have somebody like Barack Obama run, right?
Right.
What was the worst that they got? What's the worst?
He was born in a whole other fucking country.
Exactly. So that's my point. Like it's sad, bro. It's very sad how the United States shows its racism.
But I just gave you Biden and Hillary Clinton as an example that went through all kinds of bullshit too. They said Hillary Clinton was eating babies, dude. That's worse than being born in Kenya.
Who said it again?
Her opposition.
It wasn't the Democrats. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point. It was bullshit. So what you're saying is basically they will make up shit on you if they don't like what you're saying, and they will be racist if you're not of the Caucasian persuasion. They will talk about your lineage, anything else.
Yeah, but if you are, let me just say this. I agree with you, but let's just be clear. I don't care if you're Mr. Rogers. If you're a white Republican running for office, plenty of black people are going to call you racist. You're not going to escape that. I don't care how nice you are to the black community. I don't care if you got black kids. If you are a white person as a Republican politician, plenty of folks on the left are going to call you racist. People make up shit about you when you run for office. That's part of the job.
So what you saying is Liz Cheney was called racist at one point.
I'm certain if you Google Liz Cheney as a racist, stuff will come up. Yeah, because her dad, Dick Cheney. I'm sure it's in there, and I can't say for certain because I haven't heard it, but I'm almost certain if you Google Liz Cheney as a racist, shit will come up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't never heard Liz Cheney was a racist, and she's a Republican as they can be. She voted for Donald Trump 97.8% of the damn time. Like I've never heard her being framed as a racist, whether she was Republican.
What part of the country you live in?
Going up against a Democrat. I live in Florida.
Right. You don't live in Wyoming where she's governing. I mean, you're not in an area where it would probably be much of an issue to bring that up. I mean, it would come up in Wyoming, I bet.
No. See, we can't do that, Tim. We can't say just because I'm in Florida, I haven't heard. That's the reason why I didn't hear it. We talked about Mondani. He's in New York. I know a lot about Mondani, and it's been a lot of stuff that I've heard. I had to look it up, do some research. But again, just off the tip of the tongue, I've never heard anybody say about Liz Cheney as a Republican that she was prejudiced and or racist.
Well, you weren't. The reason why I asked you what part of the country you're in, because you weren't around in her different campaigns to be reelected as Congresswoman. That's when that dirty stuff come out. And if you're not in that area, you're not seeing the TV commercials and things that are local to that area. I'm certain somebody don't call Liz Cheney a racist. I'm pretty sure it's happened. I'm pretty sure it's happened.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If she was called a racist, the Democratic Party, like they always say, would definitely put that to the forefront. But there's never been said. I've never heard Liz Cheney was racist. I've never heard that.
Okay.
And that's being a liberal. And you know I'm a newfound liberal. I just found that out. But again, that's being a newfound liberal, and that's being honest to the point to where once in my life I can say I've never heard somebody on the Republican side being a racist. And that's being honest.
Okay. Well, like I said, I can't speak on it. I mean, Liz Cheney, I'm not in Liz Cheney's district either. So whatever they're calling her in her area, I nothing I can say about it. And I did put it in there. What it says, GOP Representative Liz Cheney is accusing. Now, it looked like she was accusing other people of being racist. So she's been in the conversation. Yeah, she's been in the conversation though. But it's on the other side of it.
Yeah, on the other side of it, saying, "Hey, y'all stop that shit." Yeah, y'all white folks is getting off the chain, just like with the damn civil rights laws. We had to bring up them damn laws because the white folks got off the chain, and y'all keep everybody think, "Oh, it's for black folks." No, it's for y'all asses that got off the chain. Y'all racist white folks that got off the chain, they had to come up with rules and regulations to make y'all ass calm the fuck down. So that's civil rights. Congratulations. Now you understand. Now you know.
All right. I don't disagree for your reasoning why they came up with civil rights laws. I mean, obviously people were being oppressed. Where you and I disagree is you said yesterday that blacks have made no progress since 1926. I thought that was crazy.
That was actually not me. That was, I believe, King Fan.
Okay.
That wasn't me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I'll say. I'll say we made minor progressions, but then there's always somebody like Trump to come along and push his base and push his underlings, the loyalists, to, hey, let's change this. Because the white sentiment in this country, which one would you rather have, the black president or the white president? Like, just the gerrymandering, the cracking, the packing of votes. Like, he's got it all. He's if you want the racist, you got him. You got him front and center.
Well,
and on top of that, before all of this, it was said that he used to keep that book right by his desk, and he used to. You
think as a community we've only made minor progress since 1926? Minor?
Yes, because they would, okay, so again, to make their narrative look the way it looks, they will tell you, hey, back in the 1800s, y'all had senators and y'all had representatives and all of this stuff. But then we get to a point where all of them people got what the Louisiana and Texas and everybody else trying to do. They got gerrymandered.
Hold on. Let me interrupt. Hold on. Let me interrupt and ask you this. In 1926, we know there's a host of things black people couldn't do. You couldn't be a general. You couldn't be president. Hell, you couldn't fly an airliner. You couldn't be the chief of police. What can blacks not do now? You said we only made minor progress. What is it that blacks cannot do in 2026, considering how many things they couldn't do? You could barely even open up a bank account in 1926. You say minor. What is it that blacks cannot do in 2026?
We can't be black and unalive. We just can't do it. We can't live in our own skin and be left the fuck alone. That's what we can't do. Like, there's no progress in that. Guess what? Back in the day, if you want to say it, we used to have, when we were progressing with Tulsa and Black Wall Street.
So what are you saying? Most black people, are you saying that most black, you said we can't be black and not get unalive. What are you saying? Most black people end up getting killed due to racism?
No, what I'm saying is we can't be left the fuck alone.
Yeah, you can. You think every African American in this country is getting fucked with, every single one of them?
Listen, you can be LeBron James, a billionaire.
I'm talking about regular people.
You get, that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make a point to say, you can be a regular person, you can be a high profile person. You will still be fucked with. You just can't.
Fucked with how?
They told LeBron James, shut up and dribble.
He's a billionaire. The only thing in his past is they said shut up and dribble. Give me his position. So you realize how many white people would love to be in his position? Tell me shut up and dribble all day long.
No, he don't need to be told shut up and dribble.
That's it, though.
He left the fuck alone. He needs to. No, I'm just saying. Why does he even have to be told shut the fuck up and dribble?
But the fact that he was told shut up and dribble by Laura Ingraham of Fox, and he's currently a billionaire. You're telling me the way LeBron is right now is only little progress from 1926? That's it?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick would have been killed in his career. Colin Kaepernick would have been killed in 1926 for what he did. He would have lost his life. He made money off of not taking a knee.
And he could still be unalive today.
But he hasn't.
Driving a car. Oh. He can still be But my whole point of it is he's been fucked with, Tim. They just couldn't leave the man alone.
So you're telling me out of all of the restrictions that were placed on African Americans in 1926, we haven't progressed much because people still quote unquote fuck with us. Even though you can be a general, you can be an airline pilot, you can be a billionaire, but somebody may fuck with you, so that's no
Man,
progress.
tell that to all the generals that got their ass fired that was black. Yeah, you can go be a general. Now I went all the way up to general just to get this racist motherfucker in the White House to fire me for nothing. Exactly, Tim. So
very little progress.
I really do.
Very little progress.
I hear you. Listen, he's trying to do exactly what Ms. Harris said. Turn this shit back. He's trying to get rid of all the black folks in prominent positions because he knows they're not loyalists. They're loyal to the Constitution and the laws, but they're not loyal to his ass. So I'm gonna get rid of all of these motherfuckers that ain't loyal to me, and I'm gonna put these white T motherfuckers in there, and then we gonna run this shit how we want to run this shit. Call it death row.
So you're telling me by the time Trump, is done, there won't be any black pilots, there won't be any black police chiefs, like in 1926, there won't be any black CEOs. You're telling me that's what's going to happen from Trump?
Listen, when they turned back DEI, when they turned back what was it? What was the other one? Affirmative action. When they got rid of all of that shit, that's the setup right there. We're gonna get these white dudes back in management. We're gonna get these white dudes back as the CEOs. We're gonna make sure that these companies are all white. We're gonna make sure that all the top positions are white T. Charlie Kirk running around talking about if I see a black pilot. Yeah, all of this shit is lined up, Tim. Like I'm.
How about this?
And it's like.
How about this? In the comments, Takesha, of all people, who always is hammering me, but she makes a comment that resonates. She says you can't turn things back if there was no progress. If all of the things you're concerned with that Trump is going to turn back, including black generals and things like that, then you're kind of admitting we had progress pretty damn far. Because you wouldn't have had this conversation in 1926. This stuff was not even imaginable back then.
Now listen. Takesha, me and you gotta talk. You can't keep giving Tim these righteous ass.
She hit a home run on you. Yeah, she
did. Now, mind you, you're right, Takesha. I ain't gonna give Tim that though, because
is that how it works, son?
But Takesha, Takesha, you're right. I'm gonna give my sister that. But I will say this. That's still the bullshit.
Oh my God.
It's still the bullshit for us to have so much, right? You're saying we made progress. You're saying that now we have all these different positions, but now the positions are being took away. So at the end of the day, you can say, oh, we had this, we had that. We was progressing, we was doing okay. So now what? Now that he's firing all of us, now what? Now that
I'll tell you something.
Basically, all the federal workers that, on his roster was probably had a C next to their name, like they was trying to get into one of his buildings. Trump
right now is promoting Byron Donalds to be the next governor of Florida. That wouldn't have happened in 1926. Same thing with Tim Scott. That wouldn't have happened in 1926.
Listen, I'm finna get a background with his ass with coon ears. Like he's everything coonerish. Like
coonerish.
I keep telling you, he's coonerish. Yeah, new word. I'm like Trump right now. New word, coonerish. He's the most coonerish dude that you could ever have. Go out there and say we was better up under Jim Crow.
Well, the point I'm making is though they are examples that progress has been made. They may not be on our side. I get your argument, but they are examples that progress has been made. Where did that come from? Is that right, Stevie D? You didn't put in your request, Stevie. Is that what you're trying to do? I'll bring you up. All right, well, coonerish.
Yeah, come on up.
I don't. Stevie D has never came up. You must have really done something. You brought Stevie D out of the woodwork. I don't see him in there. He's not requesting it though.
Well, he must. Oh, okay. I was just about to say he might have gave the Galaxy because he heard that new word, and he might agree with me. To say that he's a coonerist.
Stevie's a friend of the program, but he's MAGA. He don't agree with you on shit. I gotta move it on.
Yeah, so he don't. See, so I'm gonna just say he don't like black folks anyway. God damn it!
What?
He voted right beside.
Oh, he did it for. I think he said he did it for Takesha, so we'll bring Takesha up momentarily. But Takesha.
Oh, thank you, Stevie. Listen, the argument is really silly. Tim is not saying that they're not trying to take us back. What Tim is saying is you cannot say that we have not had progress in the black race because of some of the laws. And I can't let y'all keep sitting up here saying we have not. We're not riding on the back of the bus no more. We're not using only black. Let me finish.
Let her finish.
We're not using only black water fountains. We're not using only black bathrooms. We're not eating in only white restaurants. We had a black president. We got black mayors. We got black governors. We got black congressmen. And at the time back then, none of this would happen. So his point is, he never said they are not trying to change it. He's saying there has been progress because of some of the laws, and that's just the truth, now, Steve. We can't keep acting like it has not been progress.
Now, Takesha, I said you was right.
I'm
trying to say this up under my breath to tell you how upset I am with you.
But see, I asked to come up before you agreed. I asked to come up before you agreed because I was trying to tell King Finn that yesterday. We cannot keep saying there has been no progress because, honest to God, there has been
a lot of progress.
As far as we're concerned. But I'm not saying they're not trying to regress.
I know that.
Let me interject. Hold on. Let me interject and just say this. If you want folks who may be sympathetic to the cause to take you serious on, racial issues and things like that, making statements like we haven't made any progress since 1926 is going to remove all your credibility. I mean, yes, we want to go further, but pretending like we haven't went anywhere is just insane. So you hurt your credibility when you agree to stuff like that.
Well, how about this one? I didn't say I agreed to it. I said that King Finn said that. But what I will say is this. Do we know who John Hanson is?
The guy they called the first black president. Yeah, what about it?
Exactly. So that means we had a black president already before, right? Back then. Then we already know that there was black legislators back then. What happened? Shit, just like what's happening now with them taking it away and all of that. So we had progression back then, right? And then they took it away. Then you will say, oh, well, we progressed again. Now they're doing the same shit they did back then.
But Steve, you just said we had progression. The way y'all
I said that.
Yeah, what the way the conversation is going is like Tim is lying that there's never been any progression, and that's just not true. I don't like his big tabletop head either, because he get on my nerves. But I just can't let y'all keep coming at him and telling him there's no progression when you know it's progression.
Takesha, I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't save his ass. Don't do that. Don't save his ass because he pushed back on us, and he do not push back on me.
You're making the black race look bad. You're actually.
I don't care if he pushing on a vagina. I cannot sit by and let y'all just, when he right, he right.
Thank you.
When he wrong, he wrong.
Thank you.
But he is not wrong in this instance.
Yeah. And like I said, you really.
I'm gonna say it again, Takesha. I told you was right.
I can't with you.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. You hurt the cause when you try to make racism sound significantly worse than it is. You hurt the actual cause to get equality. You hurt it because people look at you like you don't.
Because most people that are not our color are gonna say, well, they say it ain't been no progress, but yes, it has. That's why people refuse to see racism, because we won't be honest about racism.
Oh.
No, we're honest about racism. We're honest about it, because just like I said, we had a black president, then they took all the racism away. They never tell us. They never. No, listen what I'm saying. I didn't, but Takesha, being honest, I did not say that.
You were in the same camp. You didn't come out and say those words exactly, but you were pretty much defending it.
I was in the same camp only because I said, now that you mentioned it, we did have progress. We had a black president. We had legislators. Then something happened.
Whoa.
Whether you want to call it reconstruction, whether you want to call it they took our shit that we had already progressed and got away, then it took a whole nother 100 and something years for us to get right back to that same situation. Now 50, 60 years later, we going back again. Like, this is why we gotta understand and know our history so this shit don't keep repeating.
But Aquarius girl, right? There has not been 100% progress, but there has been. So it could be better. Don't get me wrong. It could be much better.
And that's what I say about the Democratic Party, right? I'm telling you, it's not perfect, but we getting a hell of a lot more from the Democratic Party than we would ever get from the Republican Party since the switch. You can say what you want.
I don't see all of that stuff. All of that stuff. I'm on board with you.
We not.
I know y'all not. But what I'm just merely putting this point out there. We are getting way more, and I'm tired of even Democrats saying, "Oh, I might go switch Stephen A. Smith, coonerish ass." I don't like how you can have opposition right in front of you telling you they don't like you, telling you that they're racist, telling you that they connect with the Proud Boys, that they connect with the Triple K and the Boogaloos and all of this other bullshit. But then you will turn around and say the Democratic Party ain't did nothing for me when they're the ones that's the majority voting against your best interest. Like, that's crazy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of these people voting against you, and you still, with a dumbass, coonerish ass mind, tell us, well, I hope that we just go down there and vote for a boss just one time. Just one time, let's vote.
I can tell you there's a lot of reasons.
Ain't nobody on that shit.
I can tell you there's a lot of legitimate reasons that blacks vote for Trump. I don't totally listen. I understand where you're coming from, but that just shows the progress. Fact is, you got a lot of single issue voters stick. Everybody ain't voting based on racism. There's a lot of African Americans that are doing very well, and they're maybe focused on crypto, or they're focused on tax cuts. Some of that other shit that Trump is promising. Every black person is not thinking that the country's coming to get them racially. Some of them folks are voting based on their economics.
And I can accept that. I can accept that they was lied to. I can accept that they listened to a man who told them, I'm not talking about race, I ain't worried about it, but Kamala Harris ain't black. Like, this is the shit we gotta deal with. The two talking.
Well, you do realize Joe Biden said if you put Mitt Romney in, he was gonna put us back in chains, and that was a lie too. So the parties lie on each other. Mitt Romney was nowhere near as far right as Trump. Mitt Romney was not going to be rolling back history like this. I don't think he was going to even come close to this.
I don't think that either. Go ahead.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Let me answer Coffee Talk in the comments. He said, "What is a woman? If you don't know about that, sweetie, we can't help you. So please stop asking.
What is a war?
Stop asking us that, because if you haven't found out in all this time what a woman is, we can't help you, sweetie."
Well, if for anybody on the right, asking what is a woman, I'm asking you, what is a war? What is a insurrection? What is an obliteration? Describe some of that shit while you're at it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it sounds like you a virgin. So if you asking us what a woman is, yeah, you a virgin. You probably didn't have no mama. Like, you ain't got no aunties. You don't know what a woman is. That's your problem. You gotta ask that goddamn question. That's the stupidest question to ask ever. And like, I think you got the wrong Democrat, Republicans, liberals, whatever you want to call us. You just got the wrong people. That's a question you need to ask yourself. Go to biology, figure it out, tell somebody to open their legs, and then you determine what they are.
I'm saying we up here trying to talk about something serious. He talking about what is a woman. Just like the person said in the comment, black folks still talking about it's 2026. We still talking about racism. Y'all still talking about the 2020 election?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyway, thank you for letting me come up, Tim. I just wanted to make that.
All right, folks. I got to move it on from Buffalo.
Takesha, I'm saying this under my breath. Don't do that shit no more.
I don't fuck with you. You don't never hit that camera. I can't
All right, folks. Takesha, thank you very much. And Stick, thank you as well. Tap the screen, get the likes showing up to 25,000. You can't pretend it didn't happen. That's what your party was standing for. What Coffee Talk, what are you talking? What did not happen? Let me know what do you mean you say you can't pretend it didn't happen. And by the way, as Takesha was saying, if you want to hold the left accountable for something that happened in the past, then you can't tell folks on the left to get over things they bring up that happened in the past. Either you're okay with bringing up the past or you're not. So, you can talk about things that the left did that you think is wrong in the past, but when the left brings up stuff, well, you need to get over that. Doesn't work like that. If you want to bring up the past, bring up the past. Tap the screen. They pick and choose what women's rights they are for, says Shanti. Here's one of the things I will say about that. Because you often hear women indicating that Republican men want to take away their rights and all of this stuff. The Republican Party does pretty damn well with the women's vote. And thank you, Stevie D. Appreciate the hat mustache. You really kicked off a hell of a, sparked some shit off there, Stevie. Thank you for the TikTok caps. But I will say this, though. For all of the claim that Republicans are rolling back women's rights and things like that, there sure are a lot of women that vote Republican. So I don't know if the women completely, if they have total credibility in the claim that Republicans are taking away their rights, because Republicans could not win without the women vote. If the women vote, let's say only 20% of women voters voted Republican, they would lose every election. They're doing well with women. I mean, it is what it is. They're doing well with women. In some districts, they get more women's votes than the Democrats do. So if you truly believe that, I guess I would say right-wing males are out to put women back in the kitchen or whatever term you want to use, your first argument and gripe should be with other women, because they can't do it without women electing them. Hindu, thank you for that nice star. I appreciate that. Thank you, Hindu. But yeah, I mean, certainly in red areas, like when Trump talked about gerrymandering Texas to give him 5 additional seats. If the women in those districts do not vote Republican, he don't get the 5 seats. He's only going to get those 5 additional seats in those areas he's gerrymandered if the women vote for him. So you can only complain so much about right-wing males taking your rights back. Quit electing them. Tim sounds like he about to enact the Gettysburg Address, says Dasta conservative. By the way, handsome conservative. Some say he can read the future. Some say he's TikTok famous. I'm not that. I say he's the only man who is humble as I am, ladies and gentlemen. The handsome liberal. Humble as you are, huh, handsome conservative? Amen to that. Thank you for opening it up right. I saw that, but we were in the middle of a heated exchange. Thank you, handsome conservative. Demographic and age of women. Older women tend to vote more than younger women do. Yeah, that's true. But understand, older women still have careers and things like that. If you believe that the right is going to take women back, going to oppress women and marginalize them and put them in their place, being a 60-year-old woman ain't going to stop that. There's plenty of 60-year-old women that own businesses and things like that. If they're going to marginalize you, you're going to lose the ability to have that business. Remember, there was a time women couldn't vote. If you really believe that's what the right is doing, then as a gender, you got to take credit for you're voting these people in that you're complaining about. Anyway, we are talking about what does America First mean to you. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell does that mean. I would love to get some mag up here to explain that, because I don't see it and I don't know what it's actually supposed to mean. Maybe I can get Super Evil to help me understand. What does America First mean to you, Super Evil? Good evening.
Evening, man.
Hey.
Evening.
America First. What the hell does that mean?
Let's see. America First means we are doing well, but we're still not America first, as in far as taking care of the homeless people. We're not America first if we're not really taking care of women and children. We are not America first when we have the president that doesn't care for America.
Wait. What makes you suggest that President Trump does not care for America? Why are you saying that?
Because he said it in his interview when he was when like he was leaving. It was like the White House.
He actually said, I don't care for American citizens. I have never heard that. In the comments, Paul Saul says,
Yes,
I unapologetically support Trump and the America First agenda. So Paul would understand it. I wish, Paul, you would call up and explain it. So you don't believe Trump is governing from an American standpoint, America First standpoint, super evil. But I'm still not clear if I understand what do you believe America First is. I'm trying to get an explanation from you on what is America First. Let's say you're a politician and that's your aim is to be America First. What would you do to show the people you are about America First?
I would get the homeless and stop making that as a issue. Everybody deserves to have a home.
Everybody, wait. You believe every American citizen deserves to have a home? Are you talking? I mean, there's not enough room for all that. Is it a home?
Yes.
Or you mean just a place to live? You don't mean an actual house?
There is room. If we can send $1 billion to make missiles and everything else, though, we have room. We have the money to give every United States citizen a home.
Well, when you
There
say
should not be no reason why we cannot provide home, food, shelter, and some kind of a way to make it's the United States citizen a better lifestyle.
Hold on. You're saying there's no way we can't afford to provide home, food, and shelter. If you're providing home, food, and shelter to everybody, why would I go to work? You got my food taken care of. You got my home taken care of. Why would I go to work and earn any money? Where's the money going to come from to do this?
From it was a thing that it was the other day that Bernie Sanders, he was talking about that every like American should be able to live the American.
I get what you're saying, but I'm asking. You want every American to live a decent quality of life, but that stuff costs money. Where is the money coming from? Because a lot of folks, if you do all of the stuff you're talking about for them, there is no incentive to motivate them to go out and earn. The only reason I go to work every damn day is because I want to be able to eat. I want to have a roof over my head. I want to be able to enjoy life a little bit here and there. But if you gave all that stuff to me, I'm quitting my job.
Well, I would say I'm not going to do what Trump is doing by trying to put on, what is it called?
I get you're not going to do what he. I get that you're not going to do what Trump would do, but I'm having trouble figuring out what would you do, because I don't believe you can provide every American.
I would make it easy, and I would make it convenient on people, those who would want to work and those who only want to work part time, but also still get the rewards of living that American, living,
I see in the comments.
the dream.
I don't know, Super Eva. I think what you're talking. I mean, obviously, what you're talking about is along the levels of socialism, but I don't know if it's affordable to do all of that.
No.
That's not socialism.
It is okay. I would say that it depends on a person's point of the view, though.
You do realize it's not capitalism, right? To give people all of the stuff you just mentioned, you do acknowledge that's not capitalism, right?
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah, you're not buying anything. They're just handing it to you. In the comments, Jay Sid said, "Is giving aid to Israel, a country that has free health care and college for every citizen in America first?" No, it is not, unless you're a Christian. I've said this many times on the program before. I do believe the reason we're backing Israel, regardless of what's going on, is we believe there are people in this country who believe it is biblically prophesied that we must help Israel. We can go back and forth on how they're interpreting the Bible wrong or whatever the case may be, but I played the clip of Ted Cruz, a sitting senator. I played the clip of Lindsey Graham, a sitting senator. People on the right believe that God is telling them to stand by Israel. So that's why we're going to put Israel over being America first, just like you would put God over America first. They're doing it because of the Bible. Do you see that as well, Evil?
I think that's a little bit kind of eccentric, though. We shouldn't have to put anybody over, over the Bible. I would say it needs to have, I would say there are certain factors that you have to take into of the consideration, but putting the Bible over one particular nation, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God?
Yes.
So if you believe God wanted you to do something, that would be the highest order, would it not? I mean, that would be more important than a politician or even America first. I mean, if you were a politician and you believe God ordained you or God prophesied you to do something, you would put that over your voters and everybody, wouldn't you?
Well, remember, when you are being ordained in the church, and if you're being prophesied over something, yes, you do it, but at the same time, you have to do it with respect. You can't just do things without getting talking to the Lord Jesus Christ, and you can't be just doing things just to be doing things just because you were prophesied.
I think it's a matter of that's one of the problems with certainly with the Bible and religion is everybody interprets the Bible differently. Appreciate that, Sexy Red. Thank you. Somebody in the comments said In Motion says, hold on a second. In Motion says you believe the Lord of the Rings is a documentary. Go ahead, Super Evil. Go ahead.
Who said that?
In Motion just said that in the comments. Lord of the Rings is a documentary. Sexy Red. Thank you. Go ahead, Super Evil.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, no. You have to be in the right frame of mind, and as you were saying, though, there are more fake Christians out there that are pretending that they say that they are, but they don't really know actual type of the scripture, and they don't live by the by the scripture, though. So, and that is the hardest part that people don't seem to really understand. If you are going to work for the Lord Jesus Christ, actually, you need to be working for him. Don't just start talking about the word and actually doing
Yeah.
stuff.
The problem
You
is
need to be.
the problem is what you described. Everybody has a different interpretation of what that actually is. I got to move on, Super Evil. But yeah, when everybody has a different opinion of what the word says for them to do, that's how you get
Right,
into
right,
this
right, right.
environment. Last word. Go ahead.
Um, last word is let's see. I just want everybody to live healthy, happy. Hopefully, this whole crazy hunter virus stuff will go like away. So.
Good luck with that. Yeah, as Trump said, it's like COVID. It'll be gone by April. So who knows? So,
Man, don't rub it in, man.
hey, that's your president.
Don't
That's who we voted for. That's who we
no,
voted for.
no. That's your.
That
that's
is
your
our.
president. That's your
Say
guy.
say it
That's
with
your
me.
man.
Say it with me. That
That
is
is your
our.
man.
Trump is our president. Say it with me. He's our
No,
president.
he's your president.
Give me an address. I'll mail out a hat just so you can show your love. I'll mail out a hat.
Hey, I will use that for cotton fire.
Oh my God. That is, you're living up to your name, Super Evil. Always appreciate you coming on. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. I never voted for him since JPT Farms. You don't have to vote for him. He's still your president, though. Nobody thinks about these manufactured viruses because they don't always know that they're manufactured. That's what the problem is. Robert Kennedy and Jesus is coming back in less than 5 years. Oh, you finally put a time on it. Who said that? Oh, you saying Robert Kennedy said that Jesus is coming back in less than 5 years. Yikes. And that didn't age well at all. Trump is the president of the United States of America. Yes, he is, Diane. He absolutely is. Last word. We don't have another. I'm going to leave that alone. Tap the screen. Going back to the box. We'll make it happen with the one and only Sexy Red. She seems like she's in a good mood today. Showing the program love. I like it. I like you today, Sexy Red. Say something good.
I still want my divorce papers because you a fluffing ass,
I'm not
damn
letting
ruddy
you go.
raccoon.
Never gonna let you go. I'm gonna hold you in my arms
That's
forever.
Mexican.
What?
I can't stand your ugly ass.
Oh, come on.
It's black people, not blacks, Momo. What the fuck, man? Damn.
Black
dude.
people. Is that what you're saying?
Black people. That's what you say.
It's hard for me to. Let me tell you something. But whether it's blacks or black people, it's hard for me to understand you Negroes. It's hard for me to understand you Negroes. Your language changes all the time. You Negroes are complicated.
Hey, us Negroes know where the fuck we came from. Us Negroes ain't doing this. Okay, and have the playground behind our throats like you be doing. And you never push back on the white team, man.
I don't understand you. I don't understand you. You got your freedom. We gave you the right to vote. You Negroes are in office now. You're still complaining.
Hold the fuck on. Us, we came and got our right to vote. It wasn't the white team, man. We was out there. Our ancestors was out there. Our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents was out there in the 60s. Don't say the white team people, you mofo.
We even get not only did we give you your right to vote, we allowed you a chance to put this woman up there. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
You're trying to gaslight.
I'm not trying to gaslight you, Negroes. Listen.
Yes, you are. That's why your dick is hard. That's why you're trying to gaslight me. I swear to God. You're trying to gaslight me.
What?
Let me tell you something. The reason why she did not win
What?
is because she was a black woman.
She didn't win because she didn't earn it.
Because she's a woman, period.
She didn't win because she didn't earn it.
Put your little peckerwood back in your pants and quit getting hard. Because let me tell you this. You over here saying that the women voted for a kid getting our rights away. No, it was the white tea women. No. So don't ever get it twisted. Yes, it was the white tea women that did this shit.
I'm going to tell you something. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of, now black women he did terrible with. But, hold on.
Don't go there.
Hold on.
Mexican women. Voted for her. Shut your ass up.
You're stopping me from talking because you know I'm about to drop a truth bomb, so you're trying to stop me from talking.
No, you're not.
Fact is,
I'll whoop your ass.
Why you gotta get all flog? Why you gotta flog me, you dominatrix? You listen.
Because if your ass go over and say no, Hispanic women. Let me tell you who voted for her. I'll tell you who voted for her. Mexican women did vote for her.
Right.
Black women did vote for her. The ones that didn't vote for her, those stupid ass Cubanos and the Venezuelans, the ones that get deported, yes. But don't ever throw the Mexicans underneath the bus or the black women. They all voted for her.
I don't know what I know for a fact. I know for a fact he did very poor with black women, like 7%. But I don't know what percentage of Mexican women voted for him. But Hispanic women overall, he still did much better with them.
It was the Cubanos and the damn Venezuelans, the one that did the. Don't ever put. I'm telling your ass, Mexicans are Mexicans, okay? They voted for her. Hispanic Mexican men voted for her. 67% of Mexicans voted for her.
I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to continue saying to yourself and women alike, if you want to complain and bitch and suggest that Trump is rolling back rights for women, your first argument is with women. If you want to say it's white women, fair enough.
White women.
Well, then go argue with them. Then go have a conversation with them. It ain't Trump.
Like I said, Tim. Like I said, quit gaslighting me.
I'm not.
What, Tim? Yes, you are.
No, I'm
Get
not.
that little pinky winky back in your pants. Cause stop gaslighting me. I'm telling you, ugly ass. And quit and get that shit out your mouth, man. I tell you, Tim.
I'm just trying to listen. I'm just trying to put you up.
You're trying to get the white T-man up here. You're trying so hard to cape for the white T-man.
I'm just trying to put you up on game. You just ain't listen. I'm trying to put you up on game.
What game do you got?
I'm letting you know.
I got more game than you do.
Your problem is not with Trump. Your problem is not with Trump. It's with your fellow sisters.
My problem, yes. My problem is with Trump. Don't ever get that shit twisted. My problem is with.
Did they take Gangsta Grandma down? Somebody's hating. I don't know. I don't think she was that controversial today, but the app took her down. She's always welcome back on the program, but they took Gangsta Grandma down. In the comments, Mr. Bernard says, I will deny him being my president, just like MAGA denied that he's doing a bad job. Sad. You can deny it. I mean, fact is, they denied that Biden was president. They said Biden was an illegitimately elected president. So listen, if you want to deny that Trump's your president, go ahead and do it. But fact is, he is your president. Just like I used to tell MAGA during the Biden years. Say what you want, he is your president. You can say he didn't win the election or whatever, but he is the president of the country at the time. Trump is the president. In the comments, she wake you up with frying pan over the head. No, I don't want to be woken up that way. Gangsta Grandma's nonviolent. Look at their mouths and how they speak. Foul-mouthed women. You know they have a hard time with men. Disgusting, says Thunder. Wow. I suppose he's talking about you, Gangsta Grandma, my last guest. Foul-mouthed women. He's saying you have a hard time with men because of how you speak. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 45,000. We'll take the next caller. This is Uncensored Programming. If you're watching us live on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or Substack, follow the program. Happen to be watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Also, for my YouTube viewers, I need you to smash that like button. This is Uncensored Programming in a MAGA-friendly format as always. I need you folks on YouTube, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm, and it does bring in more MAGA. So if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. If people knew about the Trump Klan history, they never would have voted for him. I don't believe that, Sassy. I do not believe that. I think that, first of all, there's some people that would make them vote for him even more if they knew. You're talking about his father and all of that. That ain't going to run them away at all. But then I think also other folks with Trump being the excellent salesperson he is and being able to convince people the way he is really good at doing, he would just convince people that, look, that was in my past, my father's past, rather, that was in my dad's past. I had nothing to do with it. You can't hold me accountable for my father being a member of the Klan. I donated money to Jesse Jackson's campaign, or I used to date a black girl, or I helped Mike Tyson out. And so I don't think it would have hurt him as bad as you're suggesting. I don't think it would have hurt him that bad. And I see in the comments, Colonel something says they knew about it before voting. Yeah, it was mentioned, certainly for his second election, certainly before he became president a second time. That stuff was already out there. So no, I don't think it would have mattered. Tap the screen, get the likes up. Time to 2A, says non-DA. I don't know how that would work. What do you say? Some kind of civil conflict? I don't know how it would work. I mean, who would be on what side? I mean, obviously, I don't think would it just be right and left. I mean, how the last Civil War was North and South. If there was some kind of civil conflict in America now, who would be on each side of it? What is it, Republicans versus Democrats or liberals and I don't know who would be on both sides of it. Hopefully we don't end up seeing it. Hopefully we do not end up seeing something like that. If Trump said, "I've changed my ways," would you believe him? That's a great question. On its face, no. But if look, it would have to be some actions. It would have to be him doing something that raised your eyebrow and you were like, "Damn, I guess he really does mean it." But just if he just said it, no, I don't. I wouldn't. And I see in the comments, Spotty says it's too late. Like I said, it depends on what he did. If he did something, here's one. Here's the one I'll throw out there, and this is never going to happen. But here's one I'll throw out there that I think it would probably make at least the African American community raise their eyebrows. If he actually used executive order to put forth some real, genuine, tangible reparations. If Trump did that, because MAGA will go ape shit. MAGA would be showing up to the White House with long rifles. If he said, "No, fuck that, these people are descendants of folks who were really mistreated," and I'm talking about real money. I'm not talking about nothing small. If he actually did something like that, and I'm not even one that really promotes reparations, but the question is, would you believe him if he said he changed the spots? If he did something wild like that, it would be hard to say that something ain't changed in this guy. Just like Biden. Biden has a history, and then he pops up and he's helping Obama get elected, and he just appoints a black Supreme Court judge and appoints a black female vice president. That don't match his past. So I look at Biden, I look at his crime bill and all that shit in the past, and I look at his modern actions, and yeah, it looks like he's changed. It looks like he has really changed on something, because what he's doing now is not probably what he would have done in the past. You ain't getting reparations, loser, says Robert Kennedy. No, that ain't gonna happen. I agree with you. No reparations will ever be. Well, it looks like the January 6th protesters are going to get reparations, though. So reparations do get. Somebody says China reported for free speech. I love that. I love that on YouTube. Who said that? Sora says China reported for free speech. I love that comment. Let's go back to the box. We'll make it happen with DK Slam. Trump ain't shit, says one of my viewers. Evil B Boo, and I don't know why there we go. Says Trump ain't shit. Trump is not going to do that. No, he's not. Trump is going to be going out monopoly money with his crazy ass. No, he is not going to give reparations. I agree with you, Evil. It's not going to happen. But the question was, what would make you believe that he's changed his spots? Something like that, which is completely out of the ordinary for Trump, and something that MAGA would be 100% against. If he did that, it would make me wonder, like, what happened to this guy? We tried to bring up a guest, did not happen. Keith Penny, we'll try it again. Trump went to bow down to China. Is that what he really did, though? I don't think he got anything out of it. I don't know if he bowed down to China, though. Keith, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, what brings you on today? What am I getting wrong?
Oh, man, I just wanted to come on here. I like your program. I follow it all the time.
Appreciate it.
It's hilarious.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, so I got one just basic general comment, right?
Sure.
I don't see how anybody can be 100% conservative, 100% liberal. Like, we didn't used to be like that. People voted for people about, what they spoke about or what they stood for. Like me, I'm independent. Mm-hmm. I vote for whoever I like or whoever's going to do something for me.
Who'd you vote for in the last election?
I live in Florida.
I'm
a Gen X.
You're Gen X in Florida. National election 2024. Who'd you vote for, Trump or Kamala Harris?
I abstained. I didn't vote in 2024.
2020, Trump or Biden?
I voted for Biden.
2016, Trump or Hillary Clinton?
I voted for Trump.
Wow. You voted for Trump and he won. And under Trump's first term, we had a fairly good economy. You didn't want to give him a second chance? Why not?
Because, like I said, it's not that I didn't like what Trump was doing. We did have a fairly great economy, but I wasn't with all the rhetoric. I wasn't with all the other bullshit that he was doing.
Yeah.
And that's what made me not vote for him the next time around.
That's a legit point. I mean, I've certainly heard many Trump supporters say that, all of the tweets and insults and things like that. Obviously, that's only gotten worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to stop somewhere. Like, this guy, like, for all the good things that he does do or has done for the country, he's talked a bunch of shit and did a bunch of bullshit that people don't like, and I don't like it. So
it ain't gonna stop. When they eulogize, when they're eulogizing him when they are eulogizing him at his services, they're gonna say he left behind some tweets he want us to read. It ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. He gonna be tweeting because he's listening. For Trump, division, negativity, and insults are like currency. MAGA loves that shit. So why would he stop?
You know, and here's what I'll say. Like I said, I live in Florida. Mm-hmm. I voted for Ron DeSantis. I like Ron DeSantis. I like what he's doing here in Florida.
Byron Donalds?
Nobody else like him. I like what he's doing here in Florida.
I live
in Florida. I've been living in Florida for a long time. I like what he's doing.
He ran for president. Were you jonesing for him to win president?
I was. I thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to get the nomination for the party.
Wow.
And I would have voted for him.
So now you got Byron Donalds. What say you?
No, I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
What's wrong with him?
I think with the first guy, because I've been on here watching for about hour and a half. What did he say? Coonerish. He came up with a new word. That's what Byron Donalds is. I don't like him. I don't at all. If Ron DeSantis could run again, I would vote for him again. I don't like him at all.
What is Ron DeSantis doing?
The right candidate. I'm not going to vote for that guy.
I'm curious. What has Ron DeSantis done that you really like so far?
So I won't say he's done, like, I don't agree with everything. Like, he's rolled back some of the, like, Black history and taken some of that stuff out of schools. But, you know, he's for, you know, God, what's the policy? You know, he's for not, you know, I got daughters. So he's for not having, you know, LGBTQ, whatever the letters are, you know, men and women's restrooms, stuff like that. He put some policies in place for that. He's put some policies in place that has helped us save on taxes. What he did all through COVID, and now, you know, we got, you know, elimination of property tax here that's going to be on the ballot in November that he's brought forth.
And see,
you know, I don't like the redistricting and all that kind of stuff that they're trying to pull. You know, but for the majority, I think he's done good things for the state of Florida.
Well, you got some company, and I already know where this is about to go, but I still cannot understand how the transgender issue. I mean, you literally named that as the first thing came out of your mouth was that. Do you guys have a whole lot of trans in Florida?
I mean, I don't know, but
like you put that you mentioned that before the economy and everything.
I have daughters, so listen.
And
I don't want that. I don't want men and women's sports taking away trophies from my daughter.
Oh, be quiet. Nobody's taking shit from your daughter. You voted for hate. That's what you voted for.
I didn't vote for hate.
Yes,
I voted for what I believe in. That's not hate. Just because you have an opinion does not mean you're hate.
Let's get educated.
Let me hear.
You voted for Don Sanchez, right? So same man that's taking Black history out of your books, that's making your kids look stupid, right?
I didn't say I agree with everything that he's done, but for the most part, the most things he's done.
Okay, hold on. Let me hear.
No, you voted for it.
Sexy Ray. Okay, hold on. I get you're saying he voted for hate. He wants to give you a defense of why that's not true. Let's hear what he has to say.
That's true.
Okay, but
And he said,
Okay.
I'm okay. I don't like
Well,
what he
let's
did.
hear what he
But
has to
you
say
voted
first.
for it,
Let's
though.
actually hear what he has
So
to
I let
say.
him already talk.
Let's hear what he has to say. Go ahead there,
Anyway.
Keith.
Like I
That's
said,
why
I'm not Democrat nor am I Republican. I vote for the candidate that most aligns with myself. I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm a little bit on this side. I'm a little bit on this side.
So
There's an issue I may be more conservative on. There's an issue I may be more liberal on.
Now you voted.
Their taxes are high over there.
The fact that I have an opinion of who I want to vote for and listen to, that's not hate. That's not me voting for hate. That's not me being anti this or anti that. That's just me voting for what I believe.
Can I speak? The guy paid money for this
But you
shit.
gotta let him. You gotta let him respond.
Let me tell you something. No, let me tell you guys something. This is this type of Negro that didn't go vote. He has no voice. Actually, he has no voice. Why is he up here? Because he didn't vote. He was
Actually, I didn't vote because I was out of the country at the time. So that's why I missed the 2024 vote.
You make every excuse. You didn't vote.
No.
You didn't vote. You have no.
Didn't
You
vote.
had. Would you
I said
vote for
I
a
didn't
black
vote in
woman?
2024.
Would you vote for her?
Would I have voted for her?
Would you?
I
Yeah.
actually probably would have voted for her. I did not
fuck yourself. No, you don't
What?
have no voice. You have a mail-in ballot. You have no voice. So why are you up here?
Exactly. I didn't
But
do
you're
the
right,
mail-in
that's
ballot. That's why I didn't vote. I missed the
So
mail-in
why
ballot.
didn't you vote?
I missed the
You're
mail-in
not that
ballot.
damn special.
I missed the mail-in ballot.
What the fuck ever? You had no voice. And let me tell you something. You voted for get your own damn dollars. Did you know that? Because in that state, the anti-abortion is really bad down there. You feel what I'm saying? So you want to get your own daughters. And God forbid your daughters get raped and shit. They can't even get an AB down there. But you voted against that. You're so scared of trans people that don't even give a fuck about you, what you're doing. You still got, he dropped. Yeah.
How did he drop?
Bitch. Run like a little bitch. Because he's a bitch. He ran like a little bitch.
He might have got busy. He might have got busy.
No, he ran like a little bitch because what? Exactly. What? See, that's how you push back.
Well, that ain't. Hold on. That is not how you push back. If you talking all over a person and they can't get a word in, that's not pushing back. He can barely speak. That's what you call pushing back?
Let me tell you something before I drop. Let me tell you something with your boogie looking like ass. Okay? For one, they reported me because they told me that they reported me, right? For bullying. I'm gonna win because I wasn't even raising my voice. But let me tell you guys something. When you go and you vote, and you're only voting for trans people, you are hatred. You got hate in your heart for anything. He voted against his own daughters. Because why? Because down there in the down south, they had the worst of the worst ABs, okay?
You obviously are being reported. All right, we'll leave it at that since you dropped. All right.
I am.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And real quick, what was it? I can't remember the name of the caller. You're certainly welcome back. I don't know if he dropped because he got busy or whatever, but he's always welcome back. Looking in the comments, Evil B Babu says Byron Donalds, his lips need to be turning white because he does so much some crazy stuff. You apparently you're not a Byron Donalds fan, Evil. Wow. But yeah, like I said, pushing back on a guest that may be saying something controversial or unpopular is not just talking over and preventing him from being able to speak. That's not how that's not how a healthy debate goes, in my opinion. So I can kind of see why she doesn't think I push back, because I do believe the other side should be able to speak. Even if I think you're 100% wrong, I want to make sure people hear what you're saying first. Then I come in and correct it. But if I just start talking all over you, then we just kind of have a shouting match. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 60,000, if you will. They get white women to help their identity issues. How is that done? All right, by the way, folks, help your boy with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. I haven't solicited that, so certainly show your boy some love, if you will. You get somebody new to come up and let her run them out. What the fuck? Says Alter Ego. Well, listen, I ran it by you folks. And after the poll, you guys stated that if somebody's up and another individual wants to challenge them, the galaxy rules should be in place. I was a bit hesitant. I ran a poll and you guys favored it. That's why it exists. Danny Dan, thank you for the hat, the TikTok cap. Appreciate it. So moving on with the program, we'll make it happen with Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. She has to calm down though. That's hard, Debo. That's really hard to do. Mike, good evening, welcome.
What's up, young fella? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. I suppose just got home from work not long before this broadcast, but here I am now. What does America
You
First mean to
is.
you?
What does it mean to me, or what does it mean to them?
Let's go with you first, and then we'll tackle them.
Well, it's actually the same thing. It's the same answer for me, but it means that white America wants to be, white men in particular want to be first with everything in America. They want all the resources. And they don't want any competition.
So you're saying that white first is kind of some sort of white supremacist agenda. And thank you for the captor who said the JPT Farms.
It
Thank
is. It is.
you. A white.
It
So
is.
there's a lot of
It
there's a
is.
lot of non-whites, Mike, that voted for Trump. Why don't they see this?
They just don't see it. I mean, shit. Why do people run stoplights sometimes? Why do people run stop signs? Sometimes you just don't fucking see the stop sign. It happens all the time. Listen, there's no one that nothing. No one is. There's no absolutist. There's no monolith here. There are people that won't see it. It is what it is. I don't have a problem with them not seeing it. I have a problem with them defending not seeing it.
I don't know. Here's I've said this on the program many times. And thank you, JPT Farms for the TikTok cap. I understand Black MAGA or BLAGA, whatever. I understand why folks voted for Trump that are not white males, as you're saying. He just promised a lot of really good things, Mike. Promised a lot of good shit. And thank you for that, whoever just did that on Clapper. Fact is, he didn't campaign on a white supremacist agenda, you don't think, do you? Do you think he campaigned that way?
Yeah, of course he did. All you got to do is listen. All you got to do is listen. You know, the Haitians eating the cats and wait a minute, the Haitians eating the cats and dogs, and black people low IQ, and I mean, and all the poor things. I mean, Tim, if you go through the list of nicknames that he's had historically speaking,
Yeah.
he's had a laundry list of nicknames for people from marginalized communities. That's just what he does. He's always done it. I mean, we can't even listen. It's not even a debate. It's not even a debate at this point. Those are facts. What I said are facts. Now, people can try to interpret them any way they want to make them feel good because this country just wants to feel good. Let's be clear about something. I want to be extremely clear about something.
Thank you, conservative.
When we have these conversations, and we talk about race in this country, and they always tell us to stop crying on our feelings, race was built because of white people's feelings. Let's be clear. Their feelings of superiority or being inferior, either way you want to look at it, is the reason why they created race. For example, Coffee Talk just said victim, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm talking about. All I said was, see, black people didn't create race. This argument in this country that white people have been in control of this country since its inception.
Right.
At every level.
Right.
At every level, all three branches of government, all laws have been written by them. But for some reason, and they were all written to be slanted to their benefit.
No, it depends.
That's a fact, Tim.
But they're not going to agree to that. That the law. I mean,
I know. Of course, they're.
How is a law outlawing murder slanted to benefit white people?
Because if you look at the penalties for said crimes for certain people, they were longer sentences for black and brown people and less for white people.
Well, but that ain't the law. That's the enforcement of it.
No. They wrote the laws, and the penalty codes for those laws have always been slanted by race. All of them.
I don't agree with. I agree with the outcome. I think you and I would arrive at the same location. I think we would take our different route to get there. I don't think that the law was written slanted toward, at least that law, murder is murder. I do agree with you that the penalties and the enforcement toward minorities has historically been significantly harsher. Just look at the death penalty. Just look at the death row. Most of the people there are black. And that makes no sense at all considering how disproportionately larger the white population is. It makes no sense that at least half of the death row inmates are black. So clearly they're getting punished harsher, but the law was written, in my opinion, it wasn't based on race at all. It's just once it get to the courts and they enforce the law, they're enforcing it harder on people of color.
A lot of the laws were written. A lot of laws were written because of race.
That is true.
Race,
yeah.
The whole system was designed and built on race. And that's my point, Tim. It was built on race. The Constitution was written for only one subset of people in this nation, white men. It was written for them. They wrote it. Listen, and every amendment thereof was written to give people the very rights that they already had. But my point is this. When you say America first, when you say America, make America great again, and those slogans come from a schmaltzy time in this world, in this country where Nazis and Germany and all, when you hitch your wagon to those ideologies, you can't convince me that you're not connected to those ideologies. I see the connection. I see the connection. You've done it. Nobody does that on. Listen, Tim. Nobody connects themselves something that egregious if they don't care about it. If you list, and this anybody, there's 221 people in here. First of all, tap the screen, share the live. Let's get Tim up to 75,000.
Yes, and while that's happening, real quick, I do want to read a super chat. Evil B says Trump promises the promised land, which is true. The golden age. I think he also calls it the gilded age. I think it is. Says Liberation Day, but what he didn't really say is that he's taking us to hell and he's going to burn up the earth. Damn, I don't know about that. But Trump, but what he is saying is what I've been saying. Why I understand minorities voting for Trump. He does make a lot of really good promises. He promises a lot of good shit. So even if you suggest that he is promoting this white supremacist agenda, whatever you're talking about, he did lead African Americans even to think financially, economically, you will be better off with me than putting in another liberal. As he said, what the hell do you have to lose? Your cities are falling apart. He made it sound like all of that shit was going to be better.
I know that's what he said, but let's be clear about the voter base. Black people, by and large, by far, with any other voter base, voted along the same lines by wide percentages. 92% of black women, 80% of black men. There's not another demographic that voted that way with their demographic.
Right. And you're right about that. And that's why they're saying that the gerrymandering is anti-black, because blacks vote Democrats. So if you gerrymander against Democrats in an area where black people live, they're going to be hurt by it the most because they vote in line with the Democratic Party more than any other group.
But what I want to correct about that, black people vote for progression, harm reduction first. Whatever party provides that, that's where our vote will go. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party, the conservative agenda, has never offered us shit. The conservative agenda has never offered black people anything. What have they offered us? And let's be clear, because I hear this from conservatives all the time, especially black conservatives. The Democratic Party hasn't given us anything in 16 years. Well, let's be clear. The Democratic Party hasn't been in power for those same 60 years. So the argument is moot. Look at you.
I see that. Oh, my God.
Take you like you in the Remember the Time video. But what I'm saying is so that argument, I always step on that argument. Democrats weren't in power for 60 straight years. And when they were and Bill Clinton was a blue dog Democrat, so it wasn't like his policies were good for black people. He was a great president for America, but his policies weren't great for black people.
But here's the problem, though, and I understand what you're saying, Mike, but here's the problem. Blacks only represent 15-16% of the population. This is just like with the transgender argument you often hear from the right. You can't be doing something to specifically help this tiny, tiny group of people without pissing off the majority. I mean, I'm with, hey, do what you can for African Americans. I happen to be one. I would love it. But just like when they said about Obama, he didn't do nothing for black people. The minute you do something for blacks, people are going to say that's racist. We elected the president of America, not the president of black people. So that's why they're blaming Obama for not doing anything for blacks, knowing damn well that if he did, they would be calling him racist. So I understand why at the end of the day, there's not a lot being done for blacks. They're a very low minority population, and this is even bigger, they don't vote reliably. They don't vote reliably. So you're standing back complaining that I didn't do shit for you when I was a politician, but I'm looking at the voter rolls and you didn't do shit for me either.
Well, and again, here's how I look at it, Tim. I don't accept that premise for two reasons. Is no one expects the laws to be written specifically for black people, but we don't expect laws to be written specifically to harm black people.
True.
See, there's a difference. Leave us the fuck alone. Can you just do that? Can you just not make laws? Can you just not create laws and create legislation to put hurdles in people's way so they can somehow live a life without these obstacles the same way you did? We're just looking for equity.
Well, I'm going to tell you though, if African Americans voted with the same passion of MAGA, we would get a lot more done for us, because a lot of your power comes in the smaller elections, and it's just the number of African Americans, particularly when you start getting into Gen Y and Z and shit, they don't show up to vote, Mike. I mean, they show up to complain. Think about Black Lives Matter, for instance, and thank you for that, handsome conservative. That was beautiful. I think that was. Thank you. Think about Black Lives Matter. You see all them folks out there protesting and shit. A lot of them folks probably didn't vote at all. So you're out here to protest an issue, but then when it comes to voting, which might help you change some of these issues, a lot of y'all ain't even here. So that has a lot to do with this too.
Yeah, it does, Tim. But even that's by design. Even you can disenfranchise somebody by going to vote, by making them feel like their causes or their ideas for progression are hopeless, right? All you got, for example, let me give you a perfect example. How many people don't believe they have the time or the ability to get engaged into politics because they're working two jobs and they got kids at home and they're just trying to get by day, living paycheck to paycheck. They don't feel like they have time to engage in the political cycle, right? They don't even understand how it impacts them, and so they get lost in the cycle.
I don't disagree with that, but that's they often say that's a you problem, that's an us problem, because MAGA don't think that. They work. MAGA works too, and they show up to vote. They show up to.
But you're proving my point, though.
How?
But you're proving my point, because no matter what hand you're dealt in this life, if you're white, there's certain cards you'll never get. I don't give a fuck how bad your hand is. There's certain cards will never show up in your deck. We are born with those cards in our deck. I don't give a fuck how bad their situation is. There's some cards they will never be dealt.
Well,
and you know that.
Well,
so by the way,
none of that explains the African American voter turnout. I don't care what it is. You got to get over. You got to quit coming up with excuses not to go vote.
No. It's not an excuse, Tim. This is history. Here's what I mean by that. When they have voting polls in rural America, those voting polls are close to them. They don't have to take 3 or 4 buses to get to a voting poll like they do in the hood, where they move it from out of the hood into a district where they can't even get to anymore. Let's call a thing a thing. When they want to create laws so you can't get water in the fucking line, they didn't do that for white folks. They didn't do that in their districts, Tim. Listen, this whole idea that some of these things that I'm saying are excuses. Now, do we need more people to be active in voting? Do I believe people got complacent because they didn't think that this country would be trying to take us back to the 1600s? 100%. People got complacent. They didn't think that what we're seeing here would ever happen again. And here we are. But it's not happening without a very concerted effort by white folks to make it so. That's my point, Tim. Everything we're dealing with is effort. Project 2025 was 30 years, 922 pages. Have you looked at the sources that they used to create that document?
No.
And all the authors and all the different sources? What I'm telling you, Tim, is It's very easy to move forward on an agenda when you can focus on your agenda. And when you flip your cards over, you don't have the talk to my kids about what to do when they get pulled over card. I'm not worried about you being racially profiled card. I don't have that card either. I don't have the medical racism card in my deck. I don't have any of those. I don't have a penal code system that is disproportionately impacting me versus my counterparts. They don't have those cards in their deck. You sleep different when you don't have those in your deck.
Here's what I mean though. Even some of the things you're talking about, getting profiled and things like now, me being from Chicago, there's plenty of racism in Chicago. Yet the whole city is ran by black people. And in fact, most of the top 10 cities in America are ran by black people. Yet that's where most of the blacks are complaining all the racism is. That's a problem. That's a problem. You control the city. You can appoint police chiefs and every damn thing. Yet the blacks in your city are complaining about racism. That's where most of it is in the cities we control. I don't get that.
And again, and I understand. And Duke, hey, listen, Duke, if you want to come up and have a conversation, but don't start your whining because I watch you do this shit on other lives and you're terrible at it. But here's what I'm saying, Tim. But the systemic racist systems are still in place until you strip out the systems and the design, because those black mayors, the laws that are on the books are still the same. The penal codes. Here's what happens.
If you're a mayor, you can stop your cops from stereotyping and profiling people. I mean, as a mayor, you can stop that.
You cannot stop it all because the system is still in. Tim, you can't. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because, and again, we have to be very careful about how fast we move in progression because we know this country doesn't like progression. We know this country doesn't like us to move. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. We've only had one black president in the inception of this country,
okay,
right? In its entire existence. What do white people point to the moment of division in this country, Tim?
Obama.
Answer my question.
Obama.
Huh?
Obama.
So Obama, one black president. And the division.
Let me put on my devil's advocate. Let me put on my MAGA hat and take the side of white people on this, because I do understand some of this. To me, what they're pointing to Obama and saying that shows you guys can do a lot more than you want. Because the fact is, Obama got elected because the black voter turnout was pretty fucking heavy. It shows that when blacks actually show up and vote, some things can happen. So I mean.
It wasn't just black people, though.
But it mattered, Mike. It mattered a lot.
Tim, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to explain to you is the moment we had progression of one, all of a sudden, everything that's wrong with this country was laid at his feet. One person, right? And so what's happened subsequently since then, Tim? What's happened? So since he was elected and he's been out of office, what have we seen a rise in, Tim?
Hate crimes.
What else, Tim?
Shit, racism in general.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Hate crimes, racism in general, far right extremism.
But I bet you've also seen a decrease. You've also seen a decrease in black voter participation too.
And again, it hasn't been that much, actually. It hasn't been as bad as the numbers aren't that significant. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: with everything that I just said, his division, they say, MAGA says he's the reason. He woke them up. Well, what he woke up in them, and I just told you, their feelings. Racism was created on feelings. I started this.
I agree with that. I agree with that part.
What I'm saying is, he brought back their feelings because him rising to the highest position in the land doesn't make them feel good. See, they were able to still feel superior until a black man reached that level. Now it threatens their feelings.
I think we're and I'm going to be accused of defending a white man, and to some degree I am in this case because Obama couldn't have won without a lot of white votes. So a lot of white people voted for Obama too. So it ain't just a white versus black thing. So a whole lot of white people voted for Obama.
But that's what I was getting to. White people saw, and this is what I'm thinking about what I'm saying, Tim. The conservative side says, and there's some conservatives that voted for Obama because they talk about being Christians and the nuclear family and all of these things. Well, him and Michelle exuded every one of those things. It changed the narrative and the stereotype of what the black family unit looked like.
I thought
They were married.
I thought the Cosby Show did that.
Well, yeah, but it was on TV.
Yeah.
Now it came to the Oval Office, right?
Yeah.
And people saw this thing. They saw him being nurturing and loving to his wife on TV. They saw him and his kids in his unit, and they found nothing dirty on that man. And they was like, shit, we can't let him inspire others to think, because we don't want this shit. There were a lot of white people that said that's beautiful, and there were a lot that said, fuck no. Fuck no, we have to back again, Tim, because there was nothing that man did that was divisive in this country. There was nothing that Obama did that was divisive.
Well, I got a friend that often brings up that he once said Trayvon Martin could be his son, and a friend of mine thinks that was really divisive. And of course, President Obama was favorable to Black Lives Matter. I think he was favorable to Colin Kaepernick. I mean, some people say that's divisive.
But again, yeah, I know, but they're hiding behind their racism. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because for him to say because you know what they don't bring up? They don't bring up Sandy Hook. They don't bring up that he shed a tear on TV behind those children that were unalived at Sandy Hook. Now, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Right? So, but see, they don't bring that up because that destroys their narrative. The bottom line is this. White America, like Coffee Talk in the comments, they just want to be comfortable in their racism. They don't want it to be disturbed. They don't want to be disturbed in their own racism. They want to just leave us alone, let us be racist. Let us be comfortable in our own false sense of security by being superior. And every time it happens, shut up and dribble. Don't take a knee. Don't say Trayvon could have been your son. Don't say anything about CK. Don't say anything. Jimmy Kimmel, shut the fuck up. Right? Everybody shut up and let us just be comfortable in our own racism. Now, everything that I just said, I can go back and say every time they say liberals or progressives are crying, everything I just said, I can point to they cried every time it happened on the other side.
Yeah, I don't favor trying to limit free speech. Like you mentioned, Jimmy Kimmel and LeBron James shut up and dribble. I do agree that when you speak out against racial issues, right or wrong, I mean, we all have a right to speak out. I mean, we believe Trump has a right to free speech, and some of the things he says is not always accurate. So even if somebody's crying racism and they're wrong, they still have a right to free speech. So I do not like the fact that MAGA, particularly at the behest of President Trump, they seem to be against free speech. Because what Trump is doing with Jimmy Kimmel, I think Stephen Colbert goes off the air this week. All of that's due to Trump. If Kamala Harris or Biden was in office still, Stephen Colbert's show would still be on air. He's going off air, say whatever you want about it, his ratings or his money or whatever. Bullshit. If Trump was not president, that guy would not be going off air. Trump has gotten that guy taken off air.
But he wouldn't, and I know you got to go in a second. But what I'm telling you, Tim, they hide behind the Constitution. They've always hid behind their ability to create laws, and it may not be. Think about this, Tim. Everything, you said it earlier on one of your clips that you put online. Mm-hmm. Just because the law is in place doesn't change the heart of the person.
Right. Absolutely agree with that.
If a person is racist, just because you put a law in that says doing this is racist.
Yeah, but the law, because they know they can get in trouble for it now, it goes undercover.
That was the Southern strategy. So I can't do it that way. Think about what I'm getting ready to say, and then I'll leave. This country spends more time trying to figure out how to harm people than help people. They spend more, instead of just saying these things are illegal, because if that was the case, we would never have cases about redlining. We would never have discrimination cases. What the laws say it's illegal, but we still have it because it doesn't change the hearts and minds of those people. This is the only thing in this country that we don't research. We research cancer. We research everything about child development. We research everything about neurodivergence. We have terms for things now that we didn't have when we were growing up. There wasn't a diagnosis for ADHD when we were growing up. We spend millions and billions of dollars in this country to study all these other things, but when it comes to the most critical thing that creates the most harm and the most division in this country, which is race, we don't even want to fucking talk about it.
I disagree with you. I got to move it on, but I'll say this. It is studied. It's just that because there's so much resistance to talking about it, the studies get limited, if not any...
Who's the resistance from? Who is
the
resistance
folks who
from?
favor continuing to do it, Mike. I got to move it on. No.
Yeah,
But you're right.
exactly.
I don't disagree. It should actually be covered a lot more. Thanks for coming through, by the way. Real quick.
Real quick. Yesterday, Alter Ego, and I told you that boat that you guys said it was evidence, that was a seizure. The seizures and the bombings are completely different.
Yeah.
There was an operation where they stopped and boarded vessels. Now, you don't board a vessel that you boom boom, do you, Tim?
Yeah. Enough said. Okay, I'll talk about it on the other side. Yeah.
Talk about it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And he's right. I question what this is what he's talking about at the end there is. I stated yesterday that there'll never be any proof that those boats Trump was bombing off the coast of Venezuela ever contained drugs. And I had a viewer, I think it was what he said, Alter Ego. I don't know who it was, but he said it was Alter Ego. But one of the viewers said, yes, there has been proof shown that Trump's bombing of those drug boats did contain drugs. And they brought up a seizure or something that was captured in the Dominican Republic that had drugs on it. And the first question I asked even back then, if you use some of the most sophisticated missiles and weapons we have to take out a drug boat, how does it turn up on the shores of Dominican Republic, which was nowhere near where they were bombing this shit? I mean, because you got 12 miles outside of a nation's coast that's considered part of that nation. You don't hit international waters until you're 12 miles outside of your coast. So if we hit a boat with a bomb like that, it ain't gonna be nothing left to turn up for Dominican Republic to seize. I mean, certainly when you're hearing that Trump double tapped the boat. So they're making sure these boats are gone. So yeah, I kind of knew when it was said that probably has nothing to do with what Trump was bombing. You just heard Mike say that boat was actually seized by the DR, and they actually boarded it and took the cargo into possession, which, by the way, is standard international procedure for shipping drugs. I've never heard of a nation other than America bomb a drug boat from the air and just kill all of the inhabitants on the boat and the drugs and the contraband, everything. Just blow it all up. I've never heard that before. And there are some countries out there that have the death penalty for having drugs. And you don't even hear them doing nothing like that, which to me sounds less like they were trying to stop drug traffickers, and they were just simply trying to destroy all the evidence so you couldn't prove what right or wrong. I mean, there's nothing left. They blew it up and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing left. So if the families or friends or associates or company that hired them or people who own the boat said there was no drugs on this boat, there's no way they can prove it. And there's no way America, who bombed those boats, can prove they actually had it. You just destroyed everything. No trial, no chance to prove your innocence. That's not the American way. And you did it in international waters. So you can't even prove they were coming to America when you done it. To me, everything about that looked wrong. And I do believe that could come up in Trump's future, in the future of Hexef and all of them. How could you just bomb the boat like that? Looking in the comments, see, this is why Mike is a great man. Paying attention to what he says, not with your eyes, listen with your heart, not with your ears. You'll be better off than you are. Mike comes with receipts, Evo. I'm not disagreeing with that. Sometimes we clash on a few things, but he pretty much can orate a good point. Let me go back to the box, and we'll make it happen with Arnita Searles. Good evening, Arnita. Look it up, Tim. Goddamn. Oh, Alter Ego. Hold on a second, Arnita. Oh, she dropped. Even if I look it up, when we talked about this yesterday, Alter Ego, the first thing I said yesterday is I have a host of questions. Even if a drug boat turned up on the coast of Dominican Republic and they boarded it, or whatever the case may be, that they. First of all, did we bombed the boat and there was still enough of it left to make it all the way to the DR? That's the first thing I want to know. Second thing I want to know is, where was their intended destination? Because if their intended destination was not America, we still do not have authorization nor jurisdiction to just kill the people on the boat. I use this example all the time. If you're smuggling drugs from the country of Venezuela to the country of Guatemala, America has no business killing you along your route. So even if the whole DR story is true, I still have other questions. Number one being, what was their destination? Because America has no right to be in international waters killing drug. Isn't this exactly what we're chastising Iran for? You can't just control international waters with the Strait of Hormuz. You can't just go in international waters and start charging tolls and telling people what to do. We're in international waters telling folks they can't deal drugs and we're going to kill them. And we're seizing oil vessels going to Cuba, literally putting the people of Cuba into a crisis. We're telling Iran the same thing. You cannot control international water and you can't take control of it. And we're doing exactly that. So even if your story is true, there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. So I'll leave it at that. Goddess says, okay, Tim, you're talking now. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 75,000. We'll take the next caller. If these people on the boat are guilty, then Trump is definitely a pedo. There's more proof. Also, too, I got to say this. There's no law that says you can kill somebody for smuggling drugs in international waters. You can't do that. The person has due process. We do not kill drug smugglers in our own country. Yeah, we're going to go in international waters and do it? We don't even kill them when you catch them here. That same boat that we blew up, let's say the boat had 100 keys on it, 100 kilos of whatever, a ton of fentanyl, whatever the case may be. If that boat had successfully made it to the coast of Louisiana or in Miami somewhere, and the Coast Guard, they wouldn't have killed them. The Coast Guard wouldn't shoot the people on the spot. They would take them into custody. We would arrest them. So why are you killing them out in international waters? That don't even make sense. You can't kill somebody, and they would get due process too, by the way. If we caught smugglers trying to get in this country with a ton of drugs on them, we would arrest them, take them into custody immediately. They would be held, probably no bail, but they would eventually get a court date. You wouldn't just murder them. So it doesn't matter what happened in the Dominican Republic. What we did goes against our own protocol. We don't even murder drug dealers while you catch them in the country. I would say you can only browbeat somebody for so long to they're tired of dealing with you. I agree with that, but who are you referring to? When you say browbeating, they're a handsome conservative. Get us up to 75,000 if you will. Yes, we can build it, and we are killing them by the boatloads. As a matter of fact, yeah, I don't, like I said, once we started seizing oil vessels going to Cuba, I think we kind of lose credibility to complain about Iran doing it. Trump is doing a lot of stuff that he is indicating it's okay when I do it, but wrong when somebody else does it. You're threatening to take Greenland. You're threatening to take the Panama Canal, but you're telling China they can't take Taiwan. You're telling Russia, well, I don't even know if he's telling Russia what they're doing is wrong. I think he kind of favors that. But he seems to have a mindset, and I'm going to say this to some of my MAGA folks because you guys agree with him, but you seem to have a mindset that we can do stuff, and it's wrong for others to do the same thing. I don't want to go down the route of being a supremacist, but you do seem to think we have powers and we have rights to do stuff that other people can't. That doesn't make sense to me. Trump's contempt for brown and blacks has no boundaries. Wow. Says, what does that say? The Waterman? Got to put on my spectacles because I can't read nowadays. The Waterman says Trump's contempt for brown and black has no boundaries. Explain what do you mean by contempt for brown and black people. It is what it is in this country, and the only way to fix it is no one wants to do the work. I don't know if they got anything to do with bombing people off the coast of Venezuela. Absolutely, that is absolutely correct, and this should be more evidence that Donald Trump is the most criminal president in American history, says Larry. Well, I do believe what we've done off the coast of Venezuela is going to have to be answered for, because they were killing people. They were actually killing people. And there's, like I said, there's no law in the books that gives us power to murder drug smugglers at sea. There's no law in the books for that. I don't see how that's not an international crime. I just don't. Trump can pardon himself, but I don't know if he can pardon himself for that. Because that had nothing to do with America at all. Them folks are no danger to it. You can't even prove they were coming here. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with MAGA Reacts. Good evening, MAGA. Welcome to the program.
Oh, shit. I thought that was you making that noise. It's my phone.
That is your
What's
phone.
going on, man?
Not much at all. You see, we've been talking about a host of things, but the whole program topic was, what does America First actually mean to you?
I mean, you do things that are interests of America first. Things that benefit America one way or another.
Do you believe our current president is delivering in that type of agenda?
I mean, he's working on it. I don't want to say delivering because he hasn't delivered yet.
What do you mean when you say working on it?
He's working on it. I mean, he's doing these things to improve things for Americans, but so far, he hasn't delivered. The economy, I mean, he's delivered on some things, obviously, like the border and shit and stuff like that, but he hasn't delivered on a good economy. The economy has been weak.
What about
it started getting better, he does some stupid shit. I don't want to say stupid shit, but, you know, does some short-term pain, hoping for long-term gain. I want my fucking long-term gain already.
Sound like you're getting a little bit impatient with President Trump.
I've been impatient. I gave him a year. I told you guys a year, and we're like a year and a half.
Rich.
I mean,
yeah. Handsome conservative.
He needs
wow.
to show results, or we're gonna lose the midterms. If he doesn't show good results, and the only thing he's got going for him is the left is still batshit crazy. So he just needs the economy to get a little bit better, and everybody be happy.
I didn't know. So I'm watching Chris Christie on This Week with George Stephanopoulos this weekend, and they asked him, you know, what can Trump do to improve his chances in the midterms? And Chris Christie said, pray. According to Chris Christie, and I know the right has no love for Chris Christie at all because him and Trump are no longer allies, but he said at this point it's too close to turn the economy around. He said even if you start working in that direction, it's going to take more time than we have left to bring down gas prices and bring down groceries. I mean, what is it? We're in the 5th month and the election is in the 11th month. So there's only 6 months between now and the midterms. And he's not the only one I've heard say this, because some folks have said that even if you open the Strait of Hormuz, there's so many things that have been stalled and hurt. It's going to take time for all those mechanisms to be back up and online. So, and not to mention price gouging is going to happen. You got to get all that under control. And yet, he's saying that it ain't enough time at this point for what you said that needs to happen to actually take place.
I mean, he might be right, but I mean, what's Trump supposed to give up? He's still president for another 2.5 years. Yeah. So either way, fucking get this shit fixed. And if there's enough time, there's enough time. If there isn't, you still have to fucking get this shit fixed ASAP.
Well, Duke Vader in the comments, who is MAGA himself, Duke is saying, "Well, don't worry about it, we'll be fine." I'll tell you this, in regards to what you said, MAGA, and I agree that it's very important to get the price of fuel and get the economy and stuff back on track. But when I asked you, and you said he's trying to deliver whatever, what do you even see him doing that is trying to get the economy back on track? He seems to be more head over heels for international issues. I don't even see where he's trying to do that stuff.
What do you mean? It's international issues that's causing these problems. Locally, I don't think we have any major issues. You think Hormuz is an international problem? You think taking Cuba's going to bring down the price of gas or anything? I told you that has nothing to do with any. That's more for Marco fucking Rubio.
Well, the point is it costs money, MAGA. All of the what do you call it? The tribunal arch. Somebody in the comments is talking about the ballroom. He's spending tons of money. That stuff is going in the wrong direction to bringing the economy down.
If anything, that helps the economy. Spending money helps the economy. That's not the issue.
You're not going to see that.
The issue now is the fucking supply of oil and the supply of fertilizer, and the supply is the issue.
Well, the stuff I'm naming, You're not going to see any money from that stuff till way after the midterms. The tribunal arch will be being built still. That won't be done by the midterms. Neither would the refurbishing of the jet, even the ballroom. I mean, he's spending money now, way before the midterms. By the time the midterms come, we're going to be financially worse off than we are now.
The problem is you don't even know how money works. What you're saying makes no sense.
Okay, explain it to me. Explain it to me.
Like, it's an issue of supply and demand, right?
Okay.
Right now, the supply is hurting because of the problems in Iran. Once you fix the supply issue, things will become cheaper. And
how long does it take? How long does it take once that's fixed for things to become cheaper?
Honestly, it's probably going to be instant because it's mostly, it's kind of like still in the vibe stage. It hasn't really affected us in a negative way in like a hard, like we still have oil, we still have all the shit we need. So it could be instant, and I'm hoping it's instant, but look, I'm not an economic expert, especially when it comes to
I believe that.
This situation.
I believe the part about you not being an economic
expert. Because right now it feels more like vibes than anything.
Yeah. I believe the part about you not being an economic expert. You came in saying, I don't know nothing about money. You made a statement like that. All of the analysts, hold on. All of the analysts has made it clear. None of the analysts are saying that once this is done, prices are going to come down instantly. There's going to be price gouging and all kinds of shit still happen. It's not going to be instant. I don't know what makes you even say that.
I mean, it's... Otherwise, you're going to have high inflation. I don't know. I think it will be because the main issue is oil, and oil fucking affects everything else. And if there's price gouging, we'll deal with it then. Right now, let's fix the supply issue of oil. And then we'll worry about all these other bullshit problems.
Yeah, I think what you said is crazy. Like a good example, airline tickets, because of this stuff and the lack of fuel, airline tickets are up 20%. It's just like the pandemic. Once they get you used to paying a higher rate, even when they don't need to charge you that high rate anymore, they're going to be hesitant to bring it down. Somewhat after the pandemic, a lot of the raised costs we were paying for stuff, it didn't go away. Because they know you're used to paying it. So it's not going to be instant. I don't know what makes you even say it's going to be instant.
That's where the flood of supply will fix that. If you get a huge supply of oil hitting the market, it's going to plummet the price. And no matter what, as long as the supply gets going again, you're just going to have a lot of supply and people are going to have to lower the price to sell the shit. That's just simple supply and demand. Once the fucking Strait of Hormuz is open, they have all this fucking oil that's been sitting there. They're gonna flood the market with it. So oil's gonna drop down to like nothing. And once oil's cheap, everything else becomes cheap because oil fucking feeds everything else. Oil makes plastic, oil makes gasoline, oil makes jet fuel, oil makes everything.
Yeah. I think that once the supply is ample, as opposed to flooding the market so prices come down like you're talking about, they're going to play games with the supply. They're going to hold up shit. I mean, I don't think they want prices to come down just because there's a huge supply. Once people get used to paying $4 a gallon and shit like that, you ain't going to see gas prices instantly go back into the low twos. I think that is wishful thinking beyond belief. That is not going to happen. They're going to fight hard to keep it up high.
No, gas stations don't make money off fucking gas. They want you to come in for cheap gas and buy the other shit.
Okay.
So and then you got Trump's also really good friends with the Saudis, and now that they're out of OPEC, they could fucking increase the supply all they want once that fucking strait's open. So
I've heard that some of Iran bombed some of the surrounding facilities to the point where it's going to take years to get some of those plants back up and operating. I mean, that's also an issue. That some of the oil production facilities, Iran did a lot. Let me just say this, because I don't know if you watch the Lego movies and all that shit and how you feel about them, but fact is, take the Lego movies out of it. I'm pretty certain Iran has done a lot more damage responding to us than we're being told. It ain't like we just bombed them and we've just sitting back chilling and waiting to bomb them again. They responded. And they've done a lot of damage to our bases. They've done damage to oil fields. They've done a lot more damage than we're being told in this country.
I don't think that's a big issue. especially like depending on how this problem is solved. If we could bring Iran into the normal like world, and they could sell their oil on the regular market. That's also gonna fucking bring down the oil prices.
Yeah.
If their shit is just on the market like it should be, normal price, normal shit, it's gonna bring down oil prices all over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of this. You get rid of the fucking batshit crazy leaders. Hopefully, some sane people take over, and Iran becomes a normal country that trades normally and sells their oil in the regular market instead of the black market at a discount.
And I see Thomas quoted, and Thomas quoted in quote says, "I don't think USA lying us is a big issue." Yeah, he's quoting you. He's basically suggesting that you just said, "I don't think America lying us is a big issue." But I really think that
what are you talking about? I don't get it.
What he's talking about is our government is not being honest with us with what's really going on over there. I think ever since this war started, Trump has been portraying it in a very optimistic, overly positive light that is not based on any reality whatsoever. Just like he just met with Xi Jinping and he's talking about how great the meeting was. Nothing came out of that. Nothing. There's no major commitments or anything that came out of that. That's just what he does. He portrays anything he's involved in as a highly optimistic meeting or excursion or environment. I don't think Xi Jinping promised him anything. I mean, maybe there's a Boeing contract at best. I mean, we didn't get anything out of that. But you listen to Trump, you would think that they about to join NATO the way Trump talks.
You say so. I don't know. I think business with China is fine. I got my friend from China in the house right now. She's visiting me, and I'm still importing shit from China and selling it at a good price. So I don't know why.
I'll tell your friend I said hi. I'll leave it at that. Got your friend from China.
I mean, look, I know you want him. I don't know why you want him to be pessimistic so bad. Like, oh, he's lying to us. He should be more pessimistic and just fucking.
How about honest?
Put us in a bad mood.
How about honest?
He's a fucking cheerleader, Tim. His job is to say whatever the country needs to hear, so America's better off.
I don't like that. I don't like having a cheerleader that says, as you say, says whatever America needs to hear. If like when he said you defended him when he said that COVID would be gone by April. Well, you don't want chaos. I don't want you to lie to me. Treat the American people like they can handle the truth. Because when you lie to them, then when they actually find out the truth, you look even worse. I don't favor just lying to the people.
It's like that line from Men in Black. Like, a person is smart. You as a person could probably handle it, but the country as a whole, all of us as a people, if he would have done as you said, first of all, we didn't know. So he would be lying either way. If he said it's going to be around forever, he would be lying either way. Because we honestly, at that time, we didn't know. Maybe now we know a little better because of hindsight. But back then, he didn't know, and he chose to be optimistic. No. And even this thing with Iran, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to last another month or another fucking 20 years like Iraq.
No, and to me, even when you got an unknown ailment like COVID, to me, you don't lie and tell them it's going to be gone by April. You come and tell them the truth. Unfortunately, we're working on this. There may be loss of life. We're asking that your social distance or whatever the advisements were coming from the medical community. We're asking that you do this. We can promise you that we're working on this. Every scientist in the U.S. government is working on this. But right now, until I got better answers to give you, I'm going to ask you. This is how you talk to the people. You don't just lie and tell them it's going to be gone by April, so that they out there partying like what was the guy's name? Herman Cain running for office. You don't just tell folks a lie, so then they go out and do things haphazardly and end up dying. I mean, that's just crazy.
I mean, we didn't know either way. So if he would have listened to you, he would have still been lying. I mean, now we know, but back then we didn't know shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, and then I don't see the benefit of doing it your way. I see the benefits of being optimistic in both situations, with Iran and with CV-19 or whatever. I don't see the benefit of doing it your way whatsoever.
You sound like the
and also, there were things like the vaccine is supposed to take 5 years, and he says it's going to be ready in a year. is going to be ready in a few months, and everybody said he was lying back then about the vaccine's going to be ready under a year, and guess what? It was ready under a year. So, you know, everybody else said he was lying about that shit back then too.
You sound like the violin player on the Titanic to me. Just being optimistic. They keep playing. Go ahead and play another song. You sound like the cast on the Titanic playing the violin. I'll leave it at that. I gotta move it on, but I think you're crazy.
I still got a little more time. Also, fucking Michael.
I give you a minute.
Okay, Michael's heart must be full of racism because he sees racism everywhere. Remember that line you said like a minute ago? Like your heart kind of guides you, and you know it shows. It just how he sees racism and everything just shows that his heart is just like full of racism. I really don't get that guy. I mean, he paints the world to be like this fucking shitty place where the world's better than ever. I know there's a lot of fucking loud idiots on the internet being racist, but that's not fucking, you know, strange fruiting and all that other dumb shit from back in the day. Nobody's getting like really hurt. Maybe one or two random cases, but for the most part, the world's.
I would tell you something. Your argument about how racism is not as bad as you saying Mike says it. That's my same argument about the way you guys view transgender issues. You guys see trans in every fucking thing, and it's the same. It ain't this. You talking about one or two? It's even less when it comes to trans. You guys make it sound like trans are going. You guys make it sound like trans and Epstein are synonyms. That stuff ain't happening no damn where. So if you're going to criticize him, look within yourself at your own party. You make it sound like transgender people are everywhere, just raping children right and left. That shit ain't happening at all.
I've never said anything.
I'm talking about your party. I'm talking about your president.
Okay, but whatever. Most I've said is I just don't want men in the women's bathroom. If they want to be transgender,
you know like what I'm saying.
Man, they can use the men's bathroom all they want. Just keep them out away from the women's bathroom, and that's it. The only part I care about is protecting women and giving them their privacy.
I'm just simply saying, if you're going to say that Mike overstates racism, your party overstates. Your party overstates the transgender issue like nobody's business. You got it's always coming up in right-wing circles. It is always coming up.
Tim, you're never wrong with these stupid examples you give me, but it's not the same thing.
It's worse. It's not the same thing. It's worse. It ain't the same thing. It's actually worse.
No, the fact that the problem
Someone is at the front door.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is that you or me?
That was me. Go ahead.
No, just fucking. I don't know. I think he's making things worse. I remember the fucking two examples. One example is that guy that was burned alive, and he's like, "Oh my God, this guy's a person of color," and they're not reporting on it, and he ended up being white, and they still didn't report on it. He's like, if he was white, they would have reported on it, but he was white, and they didn't report on it on Fox News and all these other channels. And then the other example is like we're just hanging out. Gen X, me, stick.
I haven't seen any example.
And fucking instantly killed the mood. We were all getting along.
Lucky Will, thank you, handsome conservative.
Instantly fucking killed the mood and made the whole thing about race. We weren't even talking about race.
I haven't seen any examples. I haven't seen any examples of transgender going in bathrooms or harming children. I haven't seen zero. I haven't seen any examples of that.
I don't bring that up, Tim. I've never brought that up.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your party. I'm talking about your party. Your party continues continues making it sound like trans are going in bathrooms and harming children. You guys ran Lincoln Riley until the story was deceased. You kept running it so much. If there was a trans you guys could run that went in the bathroom and harmed a child, it would be all over right-wing media. I can't think of a single story where you guys have talked about an actual trans caught going in the bathroom and abusing a kid. Yet you keep talking about it. It's a non-existent issue.
I don't. First of all, you guys talk about it just as much.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
You just brought it up out of nowhere. I didn't mention trans at all, and you brought it up out of nowhere, and you're like, you keep bringing shit up, and you're like, oh, you guys talk about it all the time. We're just replying to the shit you're saying.
Right, sure you are. So you're telling me liberals. You're telling me that liberals are the ones. You're telling me liberals are doing this. You're telling me liberals are the ones that are bringing up kids getting abused by trans in bathrooms. That's coming from liberals.
No, because they talk about how trans their rights are being abused and all this shit, and then the rights responding. They're like, no, they're fucking taking it too far, and they want rights that.
Where's the bathroom part coming up at? Who's bringing up the children getting harmed in bathrooms though?
I don't know, Tim.
You don't know where it's coming from. It's just magically popping up. You don't know where it's coming from.
You want to let just anybody? Why do we have women in there?
That ain't what we talking about.
Bathrooms then. If you want to have it, if you think everybody's cool and we don't need to defend women from men or anything, let's just have unisex bathrooms. Let's get rid of the fucking men and women bathroom altogether. We'll just have one big unisex bathroom, and who gives a fuck? You know?
I'll tell you it is. There are countries that have unisex bathrooms, but I'll tell you this. If you did have unisex bathrooms in America, I'm not saying that some women might not get attacked, but I guarantee you, if women were getting attacked in unisex bathrooms, you know who would be doing the most attacking? Straight men. It wouldn't be trans. It would be straight men doing that shit. That's your, if you want to, straight men.
I want to keep all men outside the women's bathroom.
I gotta go. We'll leave it at that. I gotta go. Appreciate it. Tap the screen, get the likes showing up over 100,000. It was okay talking about the left brings up racism so much, but when I brought up this trans shit, now he's on the run all of a sudden. Well, I don't do it. Yeah, your party does. Tap the screen, get us up over 100,000. Feel free to help your boy out with the TikTok hat, cap and hat mustache, TikTok cap goals, if you will. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. He had no argument. I don't know why it comes up. Marty Marr, thank you for the hat and mustache. Appreciate that. Also, Handsome Conservative earlier. I'm deeply offended, says Handsome Conservative. Offended about what? State your case. You make me defend shit I have nothing to do with. Well, if you're going to criticize the left for bringing up racism so much, but then you don't want me to bring up what your side is saying so much, then I don't know how to have a conversation with you. I mean, if you're going to throw stones in a glass house, understand a few windows are going to get broken. And that is the question. If a man is a true gay, what's the problem if he doesn't like, whoa, I don't see a problem with it, but I didn't know where that came from. If we were going to talk about transgender, I should have been brought up. I'm deeply hurt. Conservative, you know we always bring you up. Let me go back to the box, and we'll continue on with Smokey. Good evening, Smokey. Welcome to the program. This dude on call is delusional, says Richard. Well, he's passionate about his case there. Smokey, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. What am I getting wrong tonight, sir?
I think it's what we've all been confused with, and I was originally, asking the wrong questions because we start at a first or a fifth level, and we haven't gone down to the foundation to actually fix the issue.
You gotta explain that a little bit clearer. I don't get what you're saying.
No problem. So, for example, America, I know, would be a continent. I know we're citizens of the United States. I know a constitution was 1787. I know it's people, person, and citizens are the controlling words. At one stage, there was other person was 3/5. That's where we ensure that all persons have the same rights with the 14th. Citizens get privileges and immunities. So it's United States, people, person, citizen, 1787. But we think it's America, 1776, gender and color rights. All while we've allowed the courts to give corporations a right of the person, 1869, Paul versus Virginia. Then in 1906, they gave them right of the people, Fourth Amendment. Then 2010, Citizens United, First Amendment right of the people, which, if you know Dred Scott versus Sanford in 1857, they said a black person can't be a citizen, so they can't be the people. So that would mean that a citizen are the people, which is where the rights and privileges, first, second, fourth, ninth, and 10th. So when a corporation could be a person but not a citizen, why have they allowed courts to give them a First Amendment right of the people? So corporations have got person and people rights, and we argue for labels of color and gender. Pay a corporation to go in front of the free person and ask for permissions.
Are you wearing a robe by chance? A black robe,
No, I'm just an
perhaps?
asshole. I'm an asshole who's not a lawyer, never went to law school. I'm just an idiot who read the Constitution to debunk MAGA because I learned that feelings couldn't work. They invoked the Constitution, so I figured we need to create a base foundation of a conversation. And in politics, that's 7 articles and 27 amendments.
That's a strong. You gave me more than I was expecting. That was a strong presentation for sure. So
if you want to actually, I'll even explain it further. If I wanted to rise again, like Confederate States of America, I'd probably rebrand over a long period of time. I'd go with the final step of America First, 1776. I would look up historical documents if I'm doing research, and I'd see the only time America was referred to as a nation was in the year of our Lord of 1777, in the second year of independence of America, and then in the third year, 1788. So America 1776 is called the Articles of Confederation. States' rights, white male patriarchal society, King James Bible, attacking Catholics, colonizing, taking commodities with less federal government.
do you believe?
Exactly what they're doing.
So you do believe MAGA is trying to take us backwards?
Well, to make America great again is the definition of treason to the United States. Article 3, Section 3. Like, not to be rude, but if I were to ask you, how many articles and amendments in the Constitution? Would you know?
No.
And that's the problem. We hold political lives, but we can't give a correct opinion on whether Congress is doing their job with the president because we don't know the structure. So we argue correct emotion.
Well, even if you know, but wait, even if you know the,
substance.
hold on, even if you know the number, that still doesn't mean you actually read what each amendment even is. I mean, you could know the number.
What I did is I just asked, you know what 2 plus 2 is, and you said no. So I didn't ask another question.
So in other words, if you say 27, then you got to know all what each one of those 27 are.
Then I'd say, hey, when was it founded?
Yeah.
And the answer would be 1787.
You know the crazy thing is, I'll tell you this. The crazy thing is, because when I growing up in Chicago, to graduate out of 8th grade, you got to pass what they call a Constitution test. It's just as you get older, you don't use it. So if you had asked me, I would probably be better at answering a lot of these questions in this manner during that period when you were actually studying it. But once you become an adult, you don't keep studying that stuff. I mean, being honest with you, it's just like you learn algebra. As an adult, you're not using it. So you just don't continue knowing that as much.
Do you notice I said, I didn't know it. I made all the mistakes. So I don't blame people for not knowing it. I sat down to read it because I said, if I'm going to try to defend somebody's right, I can't argue this emotionally because that doesn't work with MAGA. I'll say Reuters, I'll say Zygote, baby, and they'll say something else, and then eventually go Constitution is what they end up with. So I said, I should really learn, because this is what I also do, systems analysis, structural analysis. Where do rights come from? And I thought the Constitution said a black person was 3/5. It's actually worse. It says other persons. Black person would be closed clause, other persons was open-ended. That's why Hitler studied the United States. Female person, black person, Irish person, undocumented person. Anytime you other a person, you've made them less than.
Yeah.
That's why.
And that happens a lot.
Bill of Rights
happens a lot.
Is essentially the Bill of Whites, because it didn't become the Bill of Rights until the 14th Amendment, when a person could be a citizen and be part of the people, which is what is protected in the First Amendment, 2nd, 4th, 9th, and 10th. I will expose the underlying problem of it all, because I don't care if you're left or right. Live in a dry town of Lynchburg, Tennessee, make Jack Daniels, or a brothel town of Pahrump, Nevada, with devil's lettuce, alcohol, and gambling. This is the United States. We've forgotten what we are.
You sure we ever knew it? The Bill of Rights, man, that's strong. The Bill of Rights, wow. I've never heard somebody say it like that before.
If you look at We the People, look at the calligraphy spelling of it. It looks very similar to a German word called Weiss, which is white male. Essentially, it's the masculine version. So white male people, then you've got other persons are 3/5. Then you've got Article 1, Section 9, Clause 1, where the migration or importation of people, and you can import somebody for a tax of up to $10. Then those people could be othered. They could be bought and sold. Article 4, Section 2, Clause 3, if they escape, they can be returned. Article 4, Section 4, against domestic violence, the governor can request his 2A, which comes from Article 1, Section 8.
How far back?
Rebellion.
How far back in terms of how the history of this country was, in fact, how folks are marginalized, particularly women and minorities, how far back do you think the Trump administration want to go? Do you think they want to implement, I don't want to, slavery, for instance? You don't see the Trump...
Articles of Confederation. Let's look at whitehouse.gov. Does it say United States is back, that we're citizens of the United States? Is the Save United States Voters Act, and that there are 27 amendments? Or is America back? It's the American flag, Save American Voters. You have to be an American citizen to vote, with 10 amendments and the King James Bible, while we're committing war for holy war. That's called England. That's called America 1776. That's called the Articles of Confederation.
I got
all the way back there.
One of my viewers, handsome conservative, he's being sarcastic, but he says, holy crap, he's figured out our plan. We have to fight him and take him out. Go ahead.
No, it's corporations learn the wordplay. The corporations fight for corporate rights and then subcategorize. Socially, we've got AI companies, you've got a hammer and nail company. Politically, they got the same rights as a person. We categorize ourselves into subcategories and expect to get rights when we're asking for a privilege.
You need to be hosting, man. I mean, you got a lot to say, and I could use you. You actually, you need to be hosting, man. You got a lot to say that people need to hear.
Well, I do it the occasional time with the Constitution. I used to go around Democrat Live, try to teach them, because it's not about gatekeeping. Rights should be free. Mm-hmm. Are you a person? Yes, you got rights. In society, you can be whoever you want. I'm a bear. But that's socially. Politically, I'm a person who is a bear. 14th Amendment gave you a 4th Amendment right, the right of the people, the citizen, to be secure in their persons, their body. That's why they gatekept it from black people prior to the 14th Amendment. That's why it says the right of the people, citizen, to be secure in their persons, their body. Now, if you look at the takings clause of the 5th, if I force a person to carry an asset of the government, producing a citizen at their own financial expense, they would be taking their private property for public use without just compensation, just like some slaves.
Let me ask you something. While you're reciting the Constitution and all the amendments, one of the things I want to ask, if it goes back to the era you're talking about, when it comes to those amendments and those rights for women and minorities, do you think they would even honor those? I mean, because you like Plessy versus Ferguson, some of the stuff you brought up, they didn't honor some of that stuff. So you show up to court and you try to use the Constitution in your favor, and they just tell you it doesn't apply to you. Do you think they would even honor it?
They will honor it because you have to look at prior to 1868 in the 14th Amendment, you weren't getting rights, you're getting permission. See, even when people phrase women's right, 14th Amendment gave all persons born, then they gatekept the privilege to vote. That's why citizens get privileges and immunities. It's a privilege to vote if you meet the qualifiers, and they gatekeep it. Male inhabitants, the only time they introduced the word male into the Constitution 3 times. Then they changed the 19th Amendment to the word sex, the non-binary privilege to vote. It doesn't say white male. That's why we wrote the 15th Amendment in 1870. Can't be denied or abridged on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. States get Article 1, Section 4, time, place, and manner. That's not a qualifier. So states added a qualifier of a poll tax. Then we pretended you didn't have a right, because if you did, you'd sue the shit out of the federal government and the states. So we wrote a 24th Amendment saying, honor Article 1, Section 4, that is still currently violating.
You're obviously running circles around me and probably most of the listeners. But one of the things I don't get now you're not an attorney, correct?
No, they hate me because I don't have to know case law. I hold it all back to this.
Yeah, but what I'm curious is how many folks remember the Constitution and all of these sections by heart? I mean, I could read it over and over again and not remember all this. It's amazing that you're remembering. I mean, the Constitution is a hell of a document to just remember on its face. I mean, you're remembering pieces of it. I mean, certain sections. I see in the comments, Jerry says, speak for yourself. You remember the old Constitution, huh, Jerry? But, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it is quite a bit to be able to I mean, you can recite all of this without looking at the document. You remember all of this by heart.
Yeah, I'm actually in my garage at the moment, unfortunately, in consuming some non-devil's lettuce, but I'm going to go back in and take some more 420 education in a moment.
All right. I mean, it's amazing. Like I said, I don't have the memory. Even if I read it all, I'm going to have some sort of word process or something where I can type in a few phrases and it goes to the part of the document I'm thinking about. I would not remember the every amendment in every section like that by heart. I know I wouldn't be able to do it. That's amazing.
What I've learned is there's a flow to a document, and essentially we treat these leaders and news people like they're the pastor who's misquoting the scripture for their own personal gain. See, if we look at this in a different way, imagine the Constitution is the scripture.
Okay.
Imagine we elect people and they take an oath to it, and then they put their hand in the collection plate and we never get access to the books. Wouldn't we call those pastors a bunch of charlatans?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to ask better questions, like when you're talking about the vote. Like I'll ask a question: can an act amend the Constitution? I assume we all know it can't. That's in Article 5. You need an amendment to amend the Constitution, correct?
Okay.
So what does the Constitution say for the structure of voting? Article 1, Section 2, we vote by state. So what's this Apportionment Act of 1842, aka the Gerrymandering Act, that changed us from state to district? Can an act amend the Electoral College? So what's this district voting come from? Let me ask a different one. Time, place, and manner. That's physically show up or mail in your ballot. I'm fine. But let's look at the justice system. Has that been modernized since 1787? Yeah. We take biometrics that can identify a citizen at a specific time and place efficiently enough to take away all of your rights to life, liberty, and property, and remove your vote. But when it comes to exercising the only form of democracy that you have, which is a vote, you can't use biometrics, can you?
I would hope
Doesn't
not.
that seem like a duality?
I would
Doesn't
hope
that seem
not.
like a duality in law?
Yeah, I would hope
but
not.
How can they take away your right to life, liberty, property, and your vote with a fingerprint from a Coke can 20 years ago? If you leave a voicemail for somebody right now incorrectly, they can arrest you within 24 hours. But they say that voicemail isn't good enough to identify you to vote them out.
No. And
it seems like a dual system that would only benefit the for-profit prison slave system that perpetuates the problem in the society.
Which has been
systemic racism.
Which has kind of been the way since day one. I mean, that's unfortunately the system we have. I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of folks that want that old system, and if you keep folks in the dark, like the things you're talking about, you're reciting the Constitution, which I'm admitting a lot of us are in the dark on it. Certainly at the detail level you're going with, and I guess there is value to having an ignorant populace, and they're able to do more than we want them to do because they're using it in a way that is against us all.
I'm doing this too, so people know I'm not an AI robot.
No. Yeah, I see in the comments people are saying that. I see in the comments.
I used to get that all the time. So
I see that. Do you have an accent? It's like I'm hearing an accent.
Yeah, I'm from Ireland originally. I've lived all over the States. And I learned the madness of the US when I moved to Martha's Vineyard and we moved to a dry town. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then we get kicked out of the bars at 12:30. And you can only have one beer and one shot at a time. I'm like, but Vegas is 24/7. And suddenly I learned, shit, states' rights, city rights.
I'm curious.
And then I realized what the United States is. It's great.
I'm curious. I do got to move it on, but before I do, how old were you when you first came to the States?
22.
Fuck. You didn't know, you weren't reading the U.S. Constitution in Ireland, were you?
Hell no. I only read the U.S. Constitution, like I said, to piss off MAGA. I knew the system. That's why I wrote devil's lettuce laws in Colorado with a local city. Because you don't get things done at a federal level or a state level, you go to a local city. If you want a brothel, you can have that at your city level. If the laws make sense, the state might copy it. If it makes sense, other states might copy it. That's why we've got gambling laws that have changed, lettuce laws that have changed. You don't ask permission from the government. You take your 9th and 10th Amendment right. You go down to your local municipality, small government, and you say, I want this.
You
I never
came
know.
here.
You vote for it, you get it.
I'm still like with what is it? It says Turchizon or whatever in the comments 1981. He said, "You make us all look bad. You came here at 22. How old are you now?
Oh, I'm 51. I've lived all over
So,
the States. That's why I've seen the different systems of law, and I'm like, and here's what I can be honest and admit: if there's still a sundown town in the United States, it means that Congress, fuck the president, Congress has never done the job. We always focus on president. The Congress is the problem, which means we're the problem because we control Congress. Look at the 17th Amendment. We should repeal that because that was what we voted in the Senate. Senate have got sole power of impeachment, and they get to elect Supreme Court justices and everyone.
well, there's not a
We just have
legal.
them
There's not a
we
legal.
just have them.
Sundown towns are not legal, so you're not going to be able to repeal it. It's not. That's not something legal. That's
No,
something
there
that.
there's systems. Watch this. Hey, I'm the federal government. I know that there's sundown towns, so we're going to drive a bunch of people through with broken taillights, dark tinted windows, etc. We're going to see who gets pulled over and how they get treated.
Oh,
And if you treat people differently, we're going to fuck with you because we know you just changed the law from window tint, speed limits 25, pull over out of state plates, look underneath the back seat, see what seeds you can find. Oh, I smell something. Get out of the car.
so you're talking about You're talking about performing stings. Yeah, that would work. That absolutely would work. That
No
would
one's done
work.
an audit on the states or the system.
Yeah, that would work. And you're right. They're not going to do that. I got to move it on. Wow, Smokey.
I appreciate your time.
I
You're a
appreciate,
gentleman.
man. I appreciate yours. I'm not gonna even be to get up and walk away. I would fall on all of the mics you dropped on the floor with that. I appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome back. Certainly a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great evening and a great week ahead. Thank you for your time.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Wow. I feel like a fucking idiot after talking to him. I really appreciated that call, but I feel like a fucking idiot. Wow, I almost wanted to give up as hosting his show after talking to him. That is awesome. 22. You know, I'll tell you this. When I moved to Australia, I was early 30s. I was there for a number of years. I never thought about picking up their constitution and reading it. I never would have thought about something like that. I mean, not only is he knowledgeable about the U.S. Constitution, he's not even from the U.S. I just would never think about going to another country and reading their constitution to that level of detail. That's amazing. My hat's off to that guy. Like I said, he made me feel like a fucking idiot. Tap the screen and get the likes up to 115, if you will. And yet everything he said, he still decided to stay here. I didn't read that comment after he left. I would have ran that one by him, conservative. He makes us look bad, says Goddess. Yeah, he does. He does. The American people, I don't know, I want to say take things for granted. We're not as motivated in a lot of areas. Just like, you got immigrants come over here and they end up getting high level positions. They end up becoming doctors and engineers and things like that. And once again, make us look bad. You guys have all of this blessing where they pay you like this and you got the opportunity to go to school and everything, and you don't cash in on it. I mean, it's just something about us, I suppose, as Americans. But yeah, you're right. He does. He did make me feel bad, and for certain. Melissa Murray says, just released a noted U.S. Constitution is really good. I just couldn't. To me, I'm not a big Bible reader either. Some people read the dictionary. It just don't seem like something I would just sit around and read. It just doesn't. Listen, if I got in trouble with the law, or I was dealing with a lawsuit or something like that, I'm damn sure going to read the part of the Constitution that pertains to what I'm going through. But just to pick up the document, nothing special is going on in my life, and just go reading through the Constitution, it just doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in doing. Just like I would. I mean, some folks have read the dictionary from cover to cover. It just doesn't seem. I get the value of doing it. I absolutely get the value of doing it, but it just is not something the average American is going to do. I use it to paper cut them, go to see the rules against. Like I said, if it's something pertaining to me, yeah. Let's say, for instance, the cops don't arrested me for getting into an argument or something with them, and somebody is telling me if you can show they had no reason to fuck with you to begin with, everything from that point on to be fruit from the poisonous tree. Then yeah, I'm gonna look up free speech and I'm gonna look up unwarranted searches and seizures and all the things they may do. First Amendment, Fourth Amendment. I know enough about it to start. There is enough AI out there where you can ask questions and get guided in the right direction. There's even ask a lawyer directories and websites online where you pay like $50 and you can talk to a lawyer for a short time and they'll guide you in the direction of some of this stuff. But to just know it off the dome, that's fucking amazing. To just know it off the dome like that, that's amazing. Let me look in the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 120. Handsome conservative with the disco ball. Thank you, conservative. Looking in the comments here real quick before we go to the next caller. What are police trained as peace officer standard? What it says, you said, what are police trained as peace office standards training, not police? I would have had to have you answer that again when you were on here because I don't quite get that. Let me go back to the box. Louis C.K. Good evening, Louis. I think he has a photographic memory, unlike, but yeah, I couldn't remember all of that. I could read the Constitution 5 straight times, and I would not know how to cite different sections of amendments. I still wouldn't be able to do that. I would not have that kind of memory. Louis, good evening.
Hey, good afternoon there, Tim.
Hey, my God, I just got ran over, man.
I'm telling you something, Smokey, he knows the Constitution to nauseam for me.
Yes.
He used to be on Teves Live a lot. He was on Teves Live every day for probably a year or so. And I'm telling you something, man, he knows so much about it that as an American, he makes me sick. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I said. When I migrated overseas, I never thought about picking up their Constitution. Like, who does that? It's awesome to have somebody like that out there, but who does that?
Tim, I lived in Germany. I've lived in Japan. I've lived in Australia. I've lived in South
What part
Korea.
of Australia?
I was in Sydney.
Okay.
Right. It was nice there. I mean, I loved it there. Only thing I didn't love it, but I went back. But hey, I went back I was there in the late 70s, maybe the early 80s, and they were still a little racist.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because they used to have what was called Keep Australia White. They got rid of that in the late 70s.
Right, I'm telling you, it was then too. Now, when I went back, when me and my wife got married, we left from South Korea and we went there on our honeymoon. It was a lot different. But back in the 70s, when I was there for 2 years, I'm telling you something, they were pretty racist. They definitely even treated the Aborigines kind of bad, you know?
Yeah, but they still treat Aborigines bad. But they had kind of like what we're doing now, where we're becoming real anti-immigrant. It was called Keep Australia White policies. And have you heard that the UK has went MAGA?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, Tim. When I was in England, I actually we were down there on transfer with their paratroopers, and their paratroopers came to Fort Bragg, and we went over there to learn how they jump out of planes and stuff. And we were downtown one day, and we were going to go and see the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we couldn't find it. We knew we were close to it, but we couldn't find how to get it. They don't just have one-way streets over there. They have one-way walkways over there back then when I was over there.
Wow.
Where you could so it was really hard to just navigate. You can't walk but in one direction on certain streets. It was just weird. It was weird. I found it weird. I got used to it, but it was
I ain't never seen them like that. That is weird.
Yeah, there were certain streets that you couldn't walk but one way on and that kind of stuff. I think they did that more for security reasons. Anyway, I ran up to this Rastafarian. Brother, 3 shades darker than midnight, if you know what I mean.
That's blue.
And I'm telling you, he was. And I ran up to him and I said, "Excuse me, bro. Could you tell me how to get to the palace?" You know what he said to me?
What?
In that British accent, I'm not your bro, you nigger ass yank.
Wow.
Tim, I've been called that word a lot in my life growing up in the South. But I ain't never got as mad as I got when another black man called me.
You know, that happened to me.
I did that day.
That happened to me once when I was in Australia like that. When I first went over there, because I was working under the table. Yeah, I had my own business, whatever. But I was in a club, and they asked me if I would do security at the front door, and I was in a hip hop club like that. And these three African dudes was trying to get in without. They don't like you're using the N word, but anyway, they were trying to get in without paying. And I was stopping these three African dudes.
I think I just got a restriction.
Yeah, because you use the N word. You use the N word. Right. I was stopping them from getting in the club because they were trying to get in without paying. And one of them called me the N word. And yeah, it was the same. It felt worse coming from another black person. Like, it just felt worse. Like you don't heard this shit on TV. Because this ain't being used in Australia like that. They got their own version of racism. They're not calling people the N-word. It's like, so you don't heard this shit on TV somewhere and you out here using it. So it just felt weird.
Right. Tim, do you know why when we go overseas as Americans, why they kind of look at us a little different, the black Americans? It's because all they see is movies about us like Boys from the Hood.
Wow.
They think we all are thugs. They think we all walking around sagging. They think we all like hip hoppers because that's all they show them over there. They don't show you the Wall Street version of all the guys. They don't show you.
I agree with that, but I'll tell you something. When I was in Australia, and I agree with that 100%. The image that is portrayed of African Americans on television, up to maybe maybe recent. Now you're starting to see African Americans in more positive, more managerial, more softer roles. But I would say when I was over there, they loved that shit. I mean, the African American.
I know. I mean, they love it, but they just look at us different. That's all I'm saying. And most of us are not like that. True, and one thing you have to remember.
Ain't nobody like that that's traveling overseas. If you are a thug or one of them pansagger or gangbangers in America, you ain't traveling internationally. Them the people that actually are not like that that's traveling internationally.
You're not gonna be able to know it unless you're having a concert. You know what I'm saying? And you're a rapper.
Yeah, maybe a rapper. Maybe a rapper. That's about everybody else is doing it for business purposes and shit. They not like that.
Absolutely. And like I said, none of us are like that. But I have to admit, as a GI, when we go into any country, we go in with a lot of arrogance. You're talking about some high testosterone males that we go in, and nobody goes in swagging more than our peeps. You know what I'm saying? We go in because we're used to trying to be bravado. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, and you're a GI, you got to stick your chest out as a black GI. You know what I'm saying? And so we go into places just kind of with our chest stuck out anyway.
Travelman, who is a Navy vet in the comments, he's obviously traveled all over the country. He says we go in ready to lay pipe.
That's it. And they tell that's the funny thing about it too. The women love us, but the men hate us. Just put it that way.
That is so true. I tell you
what. Love us.
Go ahead.
The women love us, especially they love brothers, man, in Germany. That's all I got to say to you.
I ain't never been to Germany.
I
ain't never been to Germany, but I'll tell you in Australia that when I was running game in the clubs, that's what I used to say.
It's the same way, man. I mean, it's the same way. Australia and Germany are very similar. They're Europeans, believe it or not, originally. But
I used to use that as running game because when the Navy ships would dock, the clubs would swell up with women. Women would come from other cities, so they wanted to be near the GIs and things like that. And I would be in the club. My number one line would be, "I don't have to leave tomorrow. I live here." So you like him? He got to get on the fucking boat. You may never see us. I live down the street. So I used to use that as game, and it was working, man.
He's shipping out on Saturday.
Right. I'm not on Liberty, baby. I'm not on Liberty. I'm here.
I gotta admit, when I was stationed in a certain place and I knew I was gonna be there for a while, I used it to my advantage too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're stationed there, you're not leaving. But when all those Navy guys come in, and even some Army guys, they just come over for trainings and all that stuff, they leave it. So, you just tell the women, hey, I'm going to be here after they gone. You can go have fun with him tonight, but I'm going to be here tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying?
And I see in the comments, Shanti says you don't have game. You don't need it. You didn't need it. You got the accent. You got the skin color. You don't need it. All you got to do is stand there and smile.
How does what's his name say it? Nobody says it better than Coach Dion. Dion says, when you got swag, you ain't gotta have nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta have. Yeah. If you got swag, you ain't gotta have nothing else. You just gotta have swag. You got swag, you get everything you want. Simple as that.
It was a good time. I'll just say it was a real good time.
Hey, I do want to comment on something on you a little bit more serious.
Sure.
Is that if when you made that comment with that, did you play that what Charlie Kirk said
about the Iran war?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you play that for Mega?
No, I haven't played it on the show tonight. No.
I guarantee you, when you do play that on your show, all those Mega guys are gonna say now they don't like Charlie Kirk.
You raise a good point. I've said that. I've said this many times. If Charlie Kirk was still alive, he would be on the opposite side of Trump. Trump would not view him as a friend. If he was still alive, they wouldn't like him.
Just like for Fuentes, I think it is. He's not on the side of Kirk. Yep. All those guys have pretty much dumped Trump. Even what's the one media guy name? Don't believe Tucker Carlson or Marjorie Taylor Greene for 1 second. They are still Mega. They're just trying to become the leads of Mega because they know Trump is out. So they're dumping Trump to take over Mega. They are still just as rotten and just as foul as they always was. Do not believe the hype. They have not turned their lease. They are just trying to position themselves to take over Mega.
I don't think, and I agree with you. Marjorie Taylor Greene still fundamentally believes what MAGA believes, but I mean,
absolutely.
There is a lot of MAGA that don't support pedophilia. And if I got to give Marjorie Taylor credit for one thing, she was trying to get to the bottom of a scam, of a scandal rather, that MAGA was promised they were going to get to the bottom of. She still believes in all of the other MAGA. She still believes in all the other MAGA related stuff, but
they don't like pedophiles that are on the Epstein list, but they don't have another problem with other pedophiles.
What do you mean?
They don't have no problem with none of the rest of them.
What do you mean? I don't get
They're
that.
just, you got to figure, they're just as game for them not to release the Epstein file when it's full of pedophiles.
Do you think MAGA wants that list to be kept hidden?
Absolutely.
I don't think
Absolutely.
so. I think
at
MAGA.
Least until after 2028. At least until after 2028, they do.
I think MAGA has been convinced that Trump is not on the list. I think
there's no way. Even the parts that they have already read says that he's on the list.
Yeah, the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. If you believe that Biden, because he sniffed some kid's hair, shows. I mean, Trump's actions on the Epstein files. Yeah, to me.
No, but what I'm telling you, this list that Epstein's filed. You remember Heidi Fleiss, the Hollywood madam?
Yes.
With her black book that had all those people's names in it. That's what that list entails. It tells what they like, who they like it with, when they like it, and how they like it.
Wow.
That's what the full list is going to come out saying. We think that this list just includes, we're concerned about American females, but think about all of the European females that might be on that list also who have been sexually abused. This thing is in the Caribbean. This thing is right off the coast of, the Virgin Islands. You know how many people they probably took from the Virgin Islands and took them to that island?
Yeah.
So this list is, there's way.
I don't think you're ever going to get to the bottom of it. I don't think you're ever going to get to the bottom of it because I do believe there's plenty of Democrats that would be implementing. It's just powerful men banging kids of all party affiliations. I don't think you're ever going to get to the bottom of it. And as you've seen what happened to Epstein, I think that if you did try to get to the hold on, hang on a second. If you did try to get to the bottom of it, I do believe, just like Epstein went out like that, I believe people's lives would be in jeopardy.
I believe that For number one, I'm not a Democrat. I am registered as a Democrat because here in Pennsylvania you can't vote in the primary unless you're a Democrat or Republican.
Oh,
So that's why I have to register as a Democrat. If you're independent, which I am, and you register as an independent, you can't vote in the primaries. You follow what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So that's why I'm a registered Democrat. But
That's-
time out. My thing is like this. I've never heard a Democrat, any Democrat, not even any liberal, say they don't want the list to come out. Only people I've heard say they don't want the list to come out is Republicans
yeah.
and conservatives.
And that only happened
Never
after
heard
Trump
a
got
Democrat
elected.
say, I don't care if Bill Clinton's name is on there saying that whatever he did, I want it to come out. If Barack Obama's name is on there, I want it to come out. I'll really be pissed off if it is, but I'd be real surprised too, because he ain't got no business trying to mess with nothing but Michelle. But my thing is that if it doesn't come out, if it comes out and anybody's name's on it, I want it released. Any Democrat, any Republican, I think it should be released. It's an insult to those females.
Let me ask you this, because in the comments somebody said it's coming out in 2029. Let me ask you this: do you think once the Trump administration is out of office, you think they're going to leave the list intact for somebody else to release it?
Absolutely, because they can't. I mean, that's now you know you're going to jail if you tamper with it.
Well, I mean, considering what could happen if you get caught abusing a bunch of kids, I would rather deal with the tampering sentence. I mean, shit. Charge me with tampering, goddammit. You can't prove anything.
You know what? Spoken like a true pedophile. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. If it's up to me, if I gotta deal with either the punishment that comes with tampering with the files and hiding and destroying files versus actually being convicted of abusing dozens of kids, I'm gonna destroy these files.
I agree with you 100%. I think anybody's name that's in there for doing that, they not gonna want to release. You're right, but I'm talking about the people whose name is not in there. That's who's gonna release it. I don't think anybody's name is even in there. I don't think Bill Clinton would even release it. But
well, to me,
Bill Clinton has publicly said he wanted released.
Well, probably because he knew it wasn't going to happen. You can say anything when you know they ain't going to do it. Trump has said he wanted it. Trump is on record once or twice saying release it too. So,
yeah, but he ain't saying that now.
No, he ain't. This is what he's saying now.
But you got to figure Bill Clinton. Right?
He's saying something like that now. So, I mean, I don't.
And I'll tell you what, I probably feel the same way.
Yeah.
I probably feel the same way if I was on there, because I've done some stuff that I'm not so proud of too in the past. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't done nothing like that, though, have you?
I ain't nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing that abuses.
I'll tell you something.
I respect women too much.
If you as somebody who's been traveling internationally, you certainly could have, because I know in Australia it came at me like that. I had some chick and she was like, "Well, I don't have." She's like, "You coming over Saturday?" I'm like, "Well, meet me at the."
Tim, in the Philippines, they have a bar called the No Hands Bar.
Ooh.
You sit down. I don't know what's on the other side of that wall when you sit down.
Oh no! Really? Oh
you follow me?
It's like a glory hole.
And back in those days, days, I wasn't smart enough to check for cameras.
Oh no!
I wouldn't swear that nobody catch me on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! You fucking a wall. Oh my God!
Oh my God! Yeah, it's just a bar. It's just like a glory hole wall. Yeah, but it was a bar.
No hands, no hands. Oh
yeah,
Lord!
You could never see him. It could have been anything doing that.
Could have been a man.
Could have been anything.
Could have been a fucking man.
Absolutely.
No.
And now that I think about it, I'm almost 99.9% sure that it probably was. That's why they didn't want you to see it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe you came on here and told. I wouldn't even told this story.
Hey man, you know what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. It happened. It
happened.
And
Lord.
I'll tell you something. I went there more than once. You know what I'm saying? I went there more than once. You know what I'm saying? But
Stop it! I plead the fifth on the grounds I don't want to self-incriminate
Late night
myself.
after drinking so much sake and soju, you don't care.
Yes, you do. Could have been a man.
No, you don't.
You
No,
fucking
you don't. Long as you don't know. That's my thing. Long as you don't know. You know, you can say what you want to say, Tim.
Oh God, you're
you know,
killing
you
me.
can say what you want to say. I
He
feel you.
said, long as you don't know.
I feel you on that, but
All right, I gotta
long as you
move it
don't know,
on. I'm
don't
never
ask,
going.
don't tell.
I gotta move it on, but I tell you, I'm never going to forget this conversation. Could have been.
But I'll tell you this, Tim. I'm gonna say this to you.
Sure.
I understand why you talk to Mega, and I understand why you take the other guy too. The one that's, I think he's just disrespectful to you, and that's what pisses me off. You know, I watch you every night. I think it was
Straight talk.
Handsome Conservative. I mean, it was a Handsome
Straight talk.
Handsome Conservative. Anyway, I just think he's too disrespectful, and that's the only thing I don't like about it. I know you tolerate it, but as somebody who I like and somebody I've been watching since you were selling electric bicycles on this.
Wow.
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 I can honestly say, yeah, I go back.
Yeah,
way
you
back,
do.
man.
You do.
But I can honestly say that what bothers me is that he's disrespectful, and I see why sexy grandma gets pissed off with him. You know what I'm saying? Because she really does care a lot for you, just so you know. But she just can't stand how disrespectful they are. That's what brings her up, is when they're disrespectful to you. As long as they just being assholes, well, she doesn't put up with that either. But she definitely don't tolerate them being disrespectful to you. She's coming up fighting. She's sitting in that galaxy if they being disrespectful to you.
I'm gonna start looking at Gangsta Grandma in a different light. I gotta move it on, Lewis. Good talk. I'm never gonna forget it. Thank you. Man. Appreciate it. It don't matter if you don't know. Glorious. Tap the screen and get the lights up. It could be a man. You could be inside of a man right now. Anyway, tap the screen, get the lights up to 125,000. I see a few folks saying he was right. That was a good talk. That was a good conversation, except for the unknown Filipino you might be inside of. But other than that, it was a good conversation. Ain't no way. You're right. In the words of Shaka Khan, ain't nobody. Shit. Listen, I don't know. You know, I guess when you've went a long period of time, I guess if you're on a long deployment, you got lonely and wow. Anyway, Evil B-Bass was, Tim, I think your beloved MAGA is at your door. Yeah, you heard the door thing ring. That was not MAGA at the door. That was not MAGA. Evil B-Boo. Tim, did you turn gay after talking to this guy? You're so funny. Acting good, you guys. No, we didn't turn gay. He says, did you turn gay after talking to this guy? You're so funny. Acting could you guys touch? No, we don't want to touch peckers. No, we don't want to do that. That is really evil. Boo. I ain't never been to that damn. I ain't never been that damn lonely since Cowboy. Look, I ain't never been that lonely either. But I will just say, anytime men are deprived of intimacy for a long period of time, stuff like that can happen. There are 3 areas of life where men are deprived from being intimate for long periods of time, and that kind of stuff happens. One being obviously in prison. You go long periods of time without intimacy in prison, and shit can happen. 2 being long-term deployments, war and things like that. Shit can happen. I mean, it's, you know, you can't get your hands on them for a long time. Number 3, the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. I mean, they take a vow of celibacy. So this priest don't took a vow of celibacy. Look, that vow don't change your biological makeup. The mergers are still going to be there, and then that's why you have some priests with nuns or with children or whatever, because those urges are still there. So I hope I don't ever get to be that lonely, but I'm saying it can. Well, I'm too old at this point, I assume, but it can happen. In the comment, I've never been that lonely. AIDS and HIV is free when you're lonely. Can be, yeah. You forgot about the number 4 being married to the wrong person. That's a good one. I don't know, though. I don't know. Even if you marry the wrong person, if y'all married, she got to say yeah occasionally, don't she? I mean, you might not even. It may be a chore. It may not be enjoyable, but she got to say, yeah, occasionally, don't you? Can you be? You're married. You. I mean, I've watched Married with Children. I've seen the Al Bundy stories. I know what it's like, but eventually, right? And I see in the comments, Shanti says no if she don't like. Then you leave her. Or I'll tell you this. Look, I know I'm going to be viewed as wrong for what I'm about to say, but then again, that's kind of how this show is ran. We're all for free speech, but my opinion is if you're married to somebody and they're denying you consistently, long term, anything you do outside of the marriage is no longer cheating, in my opinion. I mean, look, you gotta have somebody to cheat on. And the person you with is saying no, you're not cheating on them. You gotta have some. You gotta be cheating on something. If the person ain't giving it to you at home, I do advise you to get out of the marriage. But I don't think you're cheating on them. If she is constantly saying no, then you have no rights. You have no claims to this dick. That's what I would say. You have no claims to it. You don't want it. So this person did. See in the comments, Jay Woody says that's bullshit. Look, if you're telling your partner no consistently, but you expect him not to step out, what are you just saying? I want you to live a life of celibacy when you with me. I want you to just keep it in. You can't get it from nowhere. I'm not gonna give it to you, and damn it, you better not go get it from the. What are you just punishing the person? I mean, that sounds brutal. So yeah, to me, if you're saying no, you kind of lose the right to demand that that person be loyal to you. You're not rewarding them for their loyalty. If you can't control it, that's your problem, says Shanti. If you, I don't think a married man should have to control it to that level. If you, isn't there something in the vows about that shit? To be there for your guy, that's something that you say you know consistently. To me, you're not living up to your end of the bargain. For better or worse, says 904 Juice. Hey, look, if there is something medically wrong with the person, that's one thing. But if the person is just constantly telling you no over and over and over again, obviously knowing you want it because they have to tell you no, you're asking for it. So they don't give a shit about how you feel. No, my opinion on that remains the same. Anyway, looking in the comments, this is just one little thing that black people think different than white men. I don't know about that. I think white men think the same way as well. The comedian Gary Owens, who I guess you could say he's white. He's a white guy. He did exactly that. That's what he talks about on his stand-up. Is his wife and him and his wife went 6 years, and she found out he had somebody. He was like, "What did you think was going to happen? We did nothing in 6 years." Tim, I told you about the January 6th people getting paid. Yes, I have heard about that. They're getting reparations. The folks on January. I don't see how that could be legal. Some of the things, in my opinion, that the Republican Party is turning a blind eye that Trump is doing is going to put them in a position where they're not going to be to complain about Democratic politicians for the rest of their life. Period. I mean, it's going to be so much deflection. Well, you didn't say nothing when Trump did this, or what about when Trump did that? I mean, the Democrats are going to have deflection coins for the rest of their life. I mean, he's literally trading stock while changing legislation in regards to the companies. Tearing down the White House to build what he wants with nobody's permission. I don't know what's going to be left for the Biden crime family, my ass. I don't know what's going to be left that you can't do. You're just going to have a Democrat Party that says that was wrong, and we're not going to move the country forward by doing the same things back. We just have to pass laws to make sure that never happened again, but we cannot get in there and implement two wrongs trying to make a right. If the Democrats get in there and say, well, Trump opened the door, we can do it, the corruption is going to be off the chain. Corruption is going to, I mean, he's literally taking jets from a foreign country to be, I mean, that's, it was one thing to have folks suggesting the MAGA hat say made in China on the inside, and this one does say made in China. But to be flying around a presidential airplane that ain't even from here, and they're not even an ally. Qatar is not even a major ally of the United States. I just don't get it. I mean, like I said, once he is gone, you just got to get another administration that's willing to not do that stuff. Because if we continue down that path, it's just going to be a few rich fucks, and all the rest of us going to be eating cake. It's just going to be a few rich people in the country, and everybody else going to be basically serfs and peasants. I mean, it just how much of the American taxpayer money has already been spent on one dude, one guy. I mean, this lawsuit that he's what is it, 1,776,000,000. That he's going to make this slush fund to give reparations to the January 6th people and all that. How the hell does Trump taxes getting leaked result in a $1.7 billion damage settlement? It's wrong to leak his taxes. I'm not going to argue with that. Probably some Democrat or somebody at the IRS that didn't like Trump. I get, but 1.7 billion in damages? Did anything happen to him? How the hell does he get a settlement for $1.7 billion as you've seen his taxes? In addition to that, they're suggesting also that settlement includes a guarantee that the IRS will not investigate his family for anything else. They're also agreeing that. So anything from that up to this point, anything he's done in the past, they've also agreed they will not perform any investigation on anything else. How did that happen? You got to peek at his taxes and he gets a 1.7. There's no damages like that he should get. E. Jean Carroll was found by a civil judgment to have been raped. And folks are saying she don't deserve the money she got. And she didn't get anywhere near what Trump is getting. She didn't get, I mean, shit, leaked my taxes, goddammit. 1.7 billion? That's because you saw his taxes? One man is getting a ton of our tax money. That one guy, whether we're talking about the jet that he's going to enjoy because he's claiming the jet goes to the Smithsonian. So he gets to use it, and then after he's done with it, it goes into his museum. No other president's getting to use that. So that's essentially his. All of that money, this is all taxpayer money going to one dude. What I suppose once he leaves the White House, the gold that he put up on the walls and stuff gets sold. Hopefully he don't get to keep that, right? I don't know. Like I said, we don't want another person to follow up and be able to do the same stuff. Otherwise, the country's going to go dry. They're even suggesting that the oil tanker he seized from Venezuela heading to Cuba, they kept that and put the money from that in the international account. It didn't go to the Cubans. It didn't go back to the Venezuelans. It didn't go to the American people. They seized a whole tanker full of fuel. You realize how much that's worth? A lot of money that could be going to the American people is going to one dude. We can't have another politician follow up and keep doing that. I mean, we're already, I believe they said our debt versus GDP is already upside down. You can't have one guy getting all this money. It's crazy. And folks are still like, this is the best we've ever seen. Look at in the comments, it behooves him not to do his fucking job. I don't know. Motherfuckers are watching the fall of America in real time and MAGA is cheering it on. You know, what happens after he leaves? Him and his family have to leave the country? Do they live abroad? Because there are going to be Americans jonesing for some of that money back. They are going to be, I mean, they're getting no bid contracts and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's insane. We thought Hunter Biden was making money because his dad was president. They doing way better than Hunter Biden. They're doing way better than him. His kid is 20 years old and he's gotten defense contracts. No bid defense contracts. You don't even have a resume. Why would they pick you first? Your companies don't even have a resume of any significance. Why would they give you the contract? He's making a killing. He's making a killing. But he is preventing transgender from going into the wrong bathrooms. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I do appreciate the 125,000. I do got to step away. As always, if you enjoy Civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle. Follow the program if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Substack. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. I will see you folks tomorrow night. Take care. Thank you.